sun. But we were flames and fell in love. We burned the city down, down. Thought you learned your lesson. You won't be lonely if you fall in love. Over and over again and again.
Welcome everyone to the first semi-finals of the Meraki Major. Today we have Repress Esports versus Motion Esports R6. So of course the winner of today's tournament will move forward to the finals bracket, of course facing the upcoming players that we will see tomorrow. We will make it through. Super exciting things happening within the tournament. Can't wait to see what these teams have in store for us. Of course, making it this far, they already proved to all of us that they are quality for semi-finalists. Of course, whoever does make it through, as said before, will be one of the best and will, of course, grab the money prize. And of course, guys, I'm one of your casters, plays. I'm part of a esports organization called Alley Dogs Gaming. I'm a partner streamer and a caster for them. And I'll be joined by my co-caster, Kudu, who's the owner of Varby Network. And of course, through ADG, we have a sponsor called Nastic. Without further ado, please, Kudu, introduce the teams and we'll continue from there.
Oh, thanks so much for such an awesome introduction, players. As he was saying, my name is Kudu. I'm the founder of Vibrant Network. If you ever want to get into the esports industry or find a job there, definitely hit us up on our socials. Check what we are all about. Should be a great matchup today. We've got two really big teams going at it. One team is obviously the underdog, so hopefully we see some great gameplay coming out from there. We saw some awesome gameplay coming from Gears, from Motion Esports the other day. Hopefully we will see him come out again once again to play. So play, what are your predictions for this matchup? What are you excited for?
I mean, already seen the map choices, the first map being Theme Park, second map being Oregon. Of course, eventually, if we do make it to map 3, will be Clubhouse. I think Theme Park, especially a map that's been really chosen within the esports community itself, really coming up to the first game that we have today. I'm quite excited to see how these players make use of this map. It's quite a difficult map, in my opinion, especially with all the different rooms make use of. I mean, yesterday's games were very based upon roamers. Can we see the same thing? Of course, having different floors, different rooms to work off of. I think the strategy behind this map and the teams themselves is especially what I'm looking forward to. And I can't wait to what these teams can make use of. Of course, Oregon being played quite a bit. Can we see something similar between the different hatch plays that we have seen in the past and the different angles, and especially how important the deployable shields have been across all the maps that we have casted, all the maps you have spectated so far? Honestly, Kudu, I don't know if there's anything that you're really looking out for, any plays in specific, anything, maybe another dynamic duo, as we see that Hales is not, of course, partaking in today's game within Motion. So, of course, Gears, of course, being one of the star players last time around, exactly who he will have synergy with this time around will be quite interesting to see.
Yeah, I think it's going to be super interesting to see. We see Limesy taking place of Hales. Should be a good matchup. I mean, obviously, we haven't seen Theme Park yet, as Plet was saying. I think today, if you guys didn't see, there was some stats that came out of R6 saying that Theme Park has been banned 97% of the time in ranked matches. So definitely not a lot of time being able to play on this map. Should be a good matchup. I'm sure we're going to see some different operators being played. Hopefully we see a Goyo coming out, utilizing those shields, especially there behind Throne. Overall, I think we'll see what these teams end up doing on their ban side of things before we start assuming who they're going to play. But I'm super excited for this matchup. Let's get into this.
There we go, the match is going underway. Of course, as I said before, I think especially like I said, Rinko being a very important factor. We did see a 6-pick from him last time around. Can we see something similar, or can they actually make use of him? It just depends, like you said, if they are in the throne room. And of course, will we see the typical Bandit and Cade? Will one of them be banned? That's just been one of the most banned characters throughout the tournament. We had a surprise last time around, having a Blackbeard banned on Oregon. Quite an interesting choice. Of course, it did come out in this other map. The map straight afterwards been a very important factor. But as we're going underway, the first attack ban will be, of course, as we did state, Thatcher, very important, but it isn't one of the most vital, or I can say a major blow to one of the teams, because we have seen amazing plays between, of course, a Maverick and a Sledge, but a Maverick just by himself, having nades in hand, been able to open up a little hole, throw a nade in, have his teammates further back if there isn't a Jaeger ADS system to make waste all their charges, if it may be flashbangs or even more nades.
I mean, we have seen on the PS4 side there hasn't been a lot of roaming, but now with the Jackal ban, I'm sure we're going to expect a lot more roaming style, especially on Theme Park. The next up, we see a Clash ban coming out from Repress, followed by an Ella ban on Motion side. Obviously, Motion taking the defense first. So obviously, they're not really expecting to want to roam with characters such as Ella. Perhaps that is a ban specifically for Repress's lineup. Perhaps that's one of the main characters that they like to play. But we're seeing typical lineups being picked out here from the teams. Maverick obviously being brought because of the Thatcher ban. We see a Mute and a Kaid. Protecting Armory and Throne Room, I think it's super important to try and keep the barrel walls closed. So it'll be interesting to see what Repress try and do to open up that wall.
As we can see, the 6 pick from Nomad, but Peli faking it out, going back to Nomad. Of course, taking Diffuser as well. Being Jackal, being banned, as you said, for the especially how important roamers have been. Having a Nomad is always a safe option. I mean, of course, there is always different options such as Gridlock, but I think Nomad, of course, providing that slot time, if hit by one of her jabs, will be stunned on the ground, actually defenseless, taking that full opportunity. Going straight into it, we are of course in the throne room. Very interesting, like you said, it all comes down to how the wall will be held. We do have a cave, we do have a castle, and of course a Mute not too far behind. We have people going around, rotating around. We have a Mirror, which will be a very important player. Quite an interesting choice not being banned. Of course, between the previous maps, is one of the most banned players that we have seen.
Yeah, I think having marked the volume on 50 is probably the way to go for this map. It's a super loud map.
Of course, the sound's being omnidirectional between the different sides, having all these different things that can go off at a time. Of course, sound is very important, especially for the plays, but at least on the casting side of things, we can use it to find cues and exactly all these interesting plays. You see a mirror going down towards bathroom side. Actually quite interesting, being almost quite far away from side. Not really, if it is, of course, it does get fallen down, be a major advantage for the attack inside. As we see, we do have Lyric playing as Ash, what we have seen before. Very strong character. Twitch as well being played. We have Springboard Twitch before being one of the metas so far on Twitch, especially for the high fire rate, let alone the great drone. It's so difficult to shoot drones, which we have seen like Twitch on the counter side. A beautiful Nautical coming from Fluffers, taking down Wang. Such a major blow so early on. More trades are coming across, even a 4v4. Lyric taking on Smosh from that mirror window, which we did see placed previously before.
You know, we got some great strategies being played out by Motion here. Obviously, the vertical play is extremely important when trying to defend throne room. So, in order to do that, they put 3 players on the top floor trying to protect that. We see Oof trying to push Limesy here. Limesy looking the wrong way, gets taken out by Oof. That leaves one of the Motion players upstairs, Fluffs, who's lying down. I'm not sure if they have droned him out, but they completely flash him out. I believe they're going to push. They don't see him in the corner there. He puts him down to 50 health. Oof finishes him off, leaving the last 2 players of Motion down below on site.
I mean, a very interesting strat, like I said, having that vertical control, especially as you can see, it's a very important factor being part of the soft breachable. Being taken down, Cade falls to the hole that he clearly made as well compared to the opposing side. Being taken down by Lyric, who already has taken down previous players in the team, but so early on gets left in a 1v4 situation. Yes, at least still has full HP, being droned out, being pushed from different angles. Shots are not being connected from both sides, being pushed, being sandwiched in within throne room, making use of the hard surfaces around him. Diffuser is going down, but Peli.
In a very tough situation. Unfortunately, there's nothing really Gears could do in that situation. Sitting 1v4, Diffuser down, can't rotate because the castle's blocking his rotate out into hallway. Pretty much stuck between a rock and a hard place. Motion going for a very roam-heavy strat there. Obviously, with the ban of Jaeger, of Jackal, we could definitely expect further, holds from sight. I think that, they're going back to Throne Armory. They obviously believe that they just made slight mistakes. I think that having the mirror up there was, utilized well. Unfortunately, the mirror fell very early into the round, peeking that window. So, losing that mirror super early on kind of gave them a disadvantage, having all 5 of the Repress players pushing them upstairs. But it looks like they're trying to pull out a pulse now, so you probably might see that they are going to less roam, more hold on site, Cal.
Seen previously having a pulse, of course seeing people directly above. We did see a natural play by Fluff's previous round. I think especially how they did, got an early frag so early on, leaving it in a 4v5 situation. Of course the trade did come in soon afterwards, but we did have a player still stuck right above Sarts. Maybe if he could have pulled back, went all the way around, back to upper arcade, jumped off that little edge, and then from there going back to start. But I mean, of course, entry from Dragon Stairs and holding that full control, moving around, making a very difficult situation from the players above, not too sure exactly where the other players are, even though you already had one right in front of you. Of course, the attack is making use of the utilities like flashbangs, throwing all three in, ready to blam the last defender on Sat. Unfortunately, the players really did go down quite fast, leaving the Jaeger in a 1v4 situation. As you did state, we do have the whole team pretty much playing on the first floor, playing off one another, staying close to Sat, which I think is a really good idea. And worst comes to worst, they can at least pull back onto Sat and make use of those hard surfaces.
We see an extremely aggressive gameplay coming out from Repress. If you saw in that last round, within the first 30 seconds, they'd already lost one player and taken out that mirror. We see now 30 seconds into the round, they have hatches open. They're busy droning out. They're already pushing inside. We see the pulsing them out, probably feeding that information back towards his teammates, knowing where the attackers are slowly starting to push from, where they're starting to gather. That would be important for these roamers to be able to rotate around and get into their positions that they need to create those opportunities for flanks. We see that vertical gameplay that we spoke about earlier coming out from Every Logic. I think trying to defend the site is extremely difficult because a lot of the spots that you need to hold can be moved or changed due to the different vertical gameplay. We see that gameplay coming out, Fluff slightly peeking there, realizing that these holes have just been opened up. These rotates that he once had are now gone. He's going to have to try and figure out a different way to kind of rotate back towards the sides or get onto the different, bombs.
As you can see, Smosh taking down Pele. Trades are coming in from Wang taking down Smosh. At least there was a player up behind. I mean, you really can't do much if two players push you. At least try to get as many of them as you can. So in a 4v4 situation, both sides have taken damage, but the Nitro plays from the defending side are really, really well done. I'm pretty sure it was the Pulse who made use of his Nitro, so their damage accuracy down to 50 HP. Oof just got taken down by Giz, leaving in a 4v3 situation in favor of the defenders. Just as I say, that accuracy not too far behind, taking down Fluffits on start. And once again, accuracy gets himself a double kill, taking down Giz. Two very important players to be taken down so early on. At this stage, when a 2v3, both players on start. We have seen the attacking side before, pushing in from different angles, holding them down, Sam and Jim, and of course working together as a single unit.
So that wall being opened up there right next to Throne is very, very important for the attacking side. They kind of opened up onto side. It's difficult now for the defenders to watch both the hole and the door. See that Ash kind of running in here behind Throne. Every Logic takes out Mech. Limsy takes out Official Accuracy. We're sitting in a 1v2 here with Diffuser going down by Every Lyric. With the diffuser down, Limsy is all left alone, needing to clutch up against this 1v2 with the Ash lying down behind Throne. He gets the pick onto the Ash and goes for the diffuse. It seems like he's going to try hold this diffuse with 15 health. He comes out and Wang takes out Limsy in a great 1v1 there, finishing it up for his team. I thought that Limsy was going to try and kind of go for the hold there. But super great round from both teams. Great utilization of their, we saw the grenades coming out. We saw the Jaeger ADSs working. Everyone really just pushing hard, which is great to see in this scene.
The Jaeger ADS system was very important. Of course, being in that situation, throwing in the grenade, honestly really did open up a very big opportunity for him. Unfortunately, it was not really the plan. Try to bang it off the wall behind, taking down the player on diffuser. But Lumsy was actually playing fairly well himself. picking up Valkyrie this time around, as you did say before, the cameras themselves are extremely important, not just for the drone inside from the attackers, but information is key. Paul's not only using his device to actually damage a player with his Nitro Soul, but to relay that information across the defending side. If there are people above, if they should be worried about the vertical play, which we have seen from time and time again, coming across these teams, making use of them and being a major threat to the defending side.
We're seeing a change of scene here, once I guess they losing Throne once again, they decided, you know what, let's take it upstairs. We're going to see a second floor hold here, kind of a typical, lineouts coming here. We see Limesy bringing out the Valkyrie, trying to get the utilization of that information for his team. Mech bringing out the Legion. The Legion worked well last round, giving a lot of sound cues to the defending side, which then turned into 1 or 2 kills for them. I believe Smosh was able to use the sound cue of one of the Legions to be able to jump, grab a kill onto Throne before getting refragged.
Well, especially be playing upper arcade by the window is a very important factor, especially almost seen straight to the start. Could be a major hassle for the defending side, but we do have Smash right underneath. Hopefully he can get the player jumping through, or even make use of sound cues as I said before to relay that information. As you see Lyric faking out the drone. Unfortunately the drone was taken down quite early on. Really from the attacking side, it was very aggressive to make their way onto side. As we can see, IQ already having top floor access, making his way towards side, and of course see the Valkyrie cameras being taken down. Very important, but as you can see, we are making a way. We do have a Nomad once again watching those roamers, so we can come from down below. We have realized from the defending side like to make use of their roamers. Yes, the last round they made use close towards south, not really playing super aggressive, but still an important factor to consider, especially if it was used previously.
Repress working very quickly and very efficiently here. They were quick to open up the windows, drone it out, take control of that side of the map, well, I guess the east side of the map. Having all of that control, they can now, drone out where those roamers are, where those defenders are trying to hold, and slowly make their way to the site. They're at a hold now where they're trying to open up the walls going onto, I believe that's bunk, right?
So yeah, so they're currently in initiation side, trying to go into bunk from the start walls, which of course there are 2 of them. But a really good spot, of course, having all the various options, going straight into side from there, maybe even going around through initiation room, maybe even towards waiting side. Lamsy taking down Oof, really well played, and honestly a major blow towards the attacking side because of the RQ can take down the different cameras and even possibly other utilities by the defensive Lamsy. Once again, found himself a second kill against Wang. Not too far behind, being heavily tagged. A beautiful Nitro Soul by Gears. Make his, taking down Lyric. Pele taking down Lamsy. And there you go, Smosh finishing the round, taking down Pele. Really well played. Defenders pulling in the back. Currently the rounds are 1-2. That round went fairly quick, as stated before. The rounds ready, they get into start really fast, using the last couple of seconds to actually get the diffuser down.
Motion really pulling it together there. Limesy kind of shining out for his team, using the rotate as well as the door to peek onto the attackers and pick off those attackers as they were trying to peek through that doorway. Taking out those important attackers as well, that forced them to have to push through the holes that they had already made. Limesy replacing, we spoke about earlier that we saw some great gameplay from Gears and Hales the other day, but Limesy coming out to show why he is taking the spot of Hales in this semi-final against Repress.
Gears, of course, having a dynamic duo and that synergy with Hales, of course, won them around. They did in their own right, hold off certain parts of the map which were very crucial, being choke points themselves. Going back to Throne Room, but very interesting, really well played previously. Of course, mistakes were made. Can the defending side, of course, acknowledge what they did wrong, do what they can do better, but we do have a master this time around. Hopefully they can break down the different thermites that come past, maybe even different nomad jabs if the opportunity does strike. Of course, being master as well, having these cameras out there to relay information, which we of course from time and time again we will of course bring it up. There's nothing more important in a competitive game, and of course such a strat game as information. Like, may that be different utilities, may that be your sound cues, may that be your cameras. Every little bit does add up, and of course having that slight advantage over your opponents will definitely help you win the round.
It seems like after that win upstairs, Motion feel like they are able to now take on Repress for that throne room. We're seeing another heavy hold starting upstairs. Should be fairly interesting. I'm looking at the lineup here. I mean, you spoke a little bit about. Did you see where those evil eyes went down yet?
It does say I wasn't exactly too sure where the evil eyes were placed, but I think it'll be fairly important, especially where they were placed. Of course, it will be especially the choke points. If I had to take a guess right now, it'll probably be towards the corridor side of things, or maybe once again towards Cash Dash, because there are so many soft walls there that will of course enter straight into the office, and maybe even one towards Yellow Stairs. Of course, being on the stairs can see right down to the first floor and on top of the floor, but Fluff is not too far behind. Once again, Pele falls down, unfortunately, so early on. The Nomad been a very crucial player, especially for the roamers. Oof, and of course Meraki playing side by side, supporting one another.
So we see aggressive gameplay once again coming out from Repress. They already have control over Cafe. They're looking on to now push back through bunks, try and get control over the west side of the map. So we saw last round they had complete control of east side before trying to push onto sides. They're trying a very similar style here. The Thermite's getting a little bit tagged up here by Smosh, who's just kind of sneakily peeking the wall. The wall being now opened up, the castle having to rotate. We're having a gunfight coming out here by every logic trying to push into barrels. Great roaming coming out here from the Jaeger, who gets the pick onto every logic. The refrag coming out, taking out the Jaeger. Great shots by Oof.
This stage being a 2v4 situation, really well played, but like you said about the Jaeger, being in a very interesting spot. Of course, getting trades, at least taking the player down with him. Being a roamer, not really taking down kills, but preventing as many people towards sides, helping out your anchors as much as possible is the key thing. But of course, the mental game that is provided by the roamers, being wherever, rather behind, be at the top, be on the same level as you, it's always been a threat. Smash takes down Wang, even in a 1v4 situation.
Oof trying to drone out there for Wang, but pulls his drone to the left while Castle was standing on the right. Unfortunately, then gets finished out by Limesy. Once again, great round by Motion. I think the first two rounds, they obviously went down into Throne. They realized that wasn't working for them, decided to go back upstairs after their first upstairs hold, realized, you know what? We're actually pretty good at holding upstairs. So let's do it again. And, we saw a very similar tactic. 4 of them held sides. 1 of them was roaming. A great roam there by the Jaeger. I think he managed to pick out 2 of their players, I believe.
Jaeger did manage to get 2 of the players from the opposing team. Then, of course, being taken down himself, but still taking as many players down as possible was a crucial part of that round. But I mean, of course, being map 1 was chosen by Repress himself, started off on attacking. So they either ready confident attacking or try to secure as many rounds on the attacking side. Of course, defending I think is a safe bet depending on who holds and what strats are used. But I think it is a guarantee that you can at least get 1 of the rounds while defending. As you can see, we're going back this time around. Sorry, my mistake previously onto Throne Room. Can we see the same type of push from Maiden side and Barrel Room? Like I said, 2 very important, if I can say, choke points. And once again, Yarrow Corridor was being played from the defending side. We do have Master once again, which is actually very important. Lamsi taking out Bandit. From this point of view, we don't actually have anybody who can counter the Bandit charges. Yes, Ash can maybe get a cheeky angle from the door, and from there shooting it towards the Bandit charges, breaking in both of them. But we just see Pele choosing out Ying been a very, very powerful operator, especially blinding the entire room, not blinding itself. It is a high risk, high reward operator, but if placed properly, if played properly, it will definitely help out the attacking side.
You know, I was expecting to see one of those evil eyes go down into barrels to try to stop the barrel wall being opened up. I mean, assuming that's what Repress were trying to do. But I see both evil eyes being placed in sight there. We saw one being placed on Armory side and the other one on Throne Room side. But it looks like Repress are going for a top push once again. They've been doing this every single round that we have seen so far when defending Throne Room. They take top control of top, clear out the roamers, open up for vertical play. We see the evil eye already looking for that vertical play coming out. But the vertical play extremely important, as we've said before, with the sites in the rounds before this. We saw that vertical play being utilized to move the defenders around so that the attackers were able to push through certain doors and through certain ways to get those picks off. We see Oof and Fluff. I think Oof can hear Fluff right now, and they can hear each other. They just have no idea where they are.
This is where we did debate yesterday. If pre-firing certain walls, giving away your position or taking a chance and hopefully getting a kill is worth it. Because of course being a roamer in that situation, yes, he might have been hurt, but the player of course being Ash in that situation is not too sure and doesn't want to give away her own position. So from there, but once again, I mean, should they rather pre-fire and hopefully hit it, because it of course did one another, because the Jaeger will be in a spot facing away from the attacker who wouldn't be able to return fire unless he does do a full 360 himself. But Fluff is playing towards bathroom side. He does hear Ash, which he was pretty much in a standoff right on top on the second floor. They let you drone in just around the corner. He is spotted by the drone. I think he tried to bait it out. I don't think Fluffles is aware that he has been shown out. Of course, Oof, Raja being helped by the Ying. Got blinded out. Of course, Ash being blinded himself. Being a beautiful pre-fire by the Jaeger. But the Ying, of course, not being affected by her own Yings. And of course, from there, getting down the kill. The Jaeger, of course, buying time for the teammates. Ready 40 seconds down and still counting.
You know, I don't think Fluff realized that the drone had spotted him out. Smosh manages to get the pick off onto Wang. Great gameplay there by the Ying and Ash working together to get rid of that Jaeger. Unfortunately, I think the drone just saw Jaeger's foot, but Oof really playing it well, making sure that it didn't see. As I'm missing that, we've got 15 seconds to go. It's in a 2v4 as Pele takes out Smart. Gears finishes it off, taking out Official. Gears then falls, leaving it in a 1v2 as Limesy takes out Oof. Pele finishing the round as he takes out Limesy, finishing it up for Repress. Absolutely great push, leaving it to practically the last couple seconds of the round, able to clear out those roamers, push on. They use that vertical gameplay to move the defenders around before making a final push onto sites. You know, just textbook style gameplay right here by Repress.
Repress as well, working with one another instead of going in one-on-one, making it, of course, the fight itself, we're coming down to either the possession of the players or their own personal aim. The work, of course, between the Ying and the Ash, of course, won them that, and once they're all reunited towards side, push from different angles. Yes, a few of the attacking side was taken down by the motion players, but of course then from the last part, instead of going in one by one, allowing Lamzi to bring it back to a 1v1 situation, and then possibly from there winning it. They actually played really well. The synergy and communication was there. Unfortunately for the defender's side, we did set the hard cover with the insights as a very important factor can be played off of. But on the same note, it does prevent certain points where your teammates can almost pre-fire and help you and give you a slight advantage through the use of cover fire.
Yeah, so we're gonna see them go onto the second floor now. Motion just really can't get a hold of how to defend Throne Room. It's a very difficult room to defend, especially if you lose second floor very quickly. And with the aggressiveness of Repress, they've lost that second floor extremely quickly, except I think last round they only had Jaeger up there, so it was going to be a difficult hold from the beginning. But they've been really good at defending these top spots. I'm sure we're going to see Repress once again try to take control of the east side of the building there before trying to push on. It's probably the easiest way to get control over the site.
We do once again have an Ashe and a Ying. Can we see the same type of play? The Roam is of course sitting in a previous spot. A very dangerous, honestly a different dangerous option. Will the players expect the same type of play that was made previously? Smosh once again behind arcade window. I mean, as I do join him out, the War Knight he often sits there and could be possibly a quick rush, taking down a player so early on. Yes, having his teammates on the second floor, but I mean, with certain angles that will not even be detected, maybe they won't even go unnoticed. But they finally found Bomb, and from there moving towards Sat. Ready, oof, on going towards Yellow Stairs. Honestly, and Fluff is down below where he did play before as Jaeger did get himself 2 kills. But honestly, across the map, of course, playing for the sound cues, we do have one player currently by Throne Room. Literally around the corner for one of the defending side. As you did say before, we do, of course, without a whole vertical play, being a very interesting spot for the previous attacking team. Because from there, of course, we did see a very much use of it, helping them get into start, maybe even throwing a couple of nades, breaking utility, Superior using a new hard breach, allowing Maverick to break in, go in past, can run the bandits, there isn't any bandit tricks going past, and allowing the Thermite to open up that entire wall.
Yeah, that wall is super important when defending this side, but it's also very difficult to try stop them opening it up. Now with that wall being open, the Ashe is going to try rotate now up the staircase. The Jaeger ADS is protecting the player up above. I'm not sure. I believe it was Limesy upstairs. No, Limesy just rotated upstairs. So we see all the defenders rotating back onto site to try and hold it down. No more roamers. We're just seeing hard angle holds right now.
And especially when we see how big the top floor is, being in such spots where players might not exactly think that you won't beat or give you a major advantage, maybe especially in the initial gunfights. Sometimes it doesn't always come down to aim, but exactly who sees who first. This is some pre-fires coming in, but accuracy and does indeed take down Mechhead. Beautiful pre-fire through the soft wall, find himself a kill, with his teammates helping him ready get him towards Sat. One defender down, allowing him to sandwich around. Honestly, closing in players' gears, not too far behind. Find himself a 2k versus Oof. Pele himself and Smash taking down accuracy. We previously got a beautiful pre-fire into a soft wall.
You know, I don't think they had droned out gears there in Cafe. So unfortunately finishing it up. Now left in a 1v4. Not much that Wang can do here. There's lots of legions down. He's got like 4 defenders in front of him. He finally gets taken down by Limesy, who's been on fire today so far during this matchup.
As you said, this game is neck and neck. One team does get a lead, one team catches it back. And at this stage, of course, we're going into the second half where everything is switching around. From here, of course, Repress will be on the defending side, while Motion will be on the attacking. Can we see something similar between the strats from both teams? Maybe learning from one another, maybe adapting to the situation. I mean, we did see a lot of top-level plays that did work, of course, in favor of Motion. From that same note, I mean, of course, seeing the top-level plays, will they be able to counter, in your own personal opinion, Kudu? Counter the top level control, and maybe from there, maybe droning out, sitting in different spots that usually the attackers will not expect.
You know, these two teams have been extremely close matchup right now. We see here on the leaderboard, Limesy with going 8 and 4. Most of the Motion team really coming in clutch here. Mech playing a really hard support role, doing really well for his team, allowing his players, you know, giving that information to them. We'll see now he's playing Zofia, which is normally being used in a fragging role. So we'll see if his fragging role comes out now in the attacking rounds. But I mean, sitting 3-3 halfway through the matchup, I really have absolutely no idea who is going to win this game. No team has really been able to take control or dominate the other team using their strats. It's really just a touch and go right now.
On that same note, Repress did give a 2-round lead. Motion just reminded me, cool, Throne Room did not work. Let's go to the second floor that we already had control, so we are aware exactly what we can make use of to our own advantage. Brought it back to the 2-2 rounds. Then from there, we got a back-to-back 3-3. From this point of view, we're going back to Throne Room. Very interesting with a similar Master Pick and a Cade and of course the Jaeger, which is a go-to. But on the same note, they do have a Bandit. So between these two electrifiers, maybe we can see very interesting play. As we already do have hatches been taken down. We know that the motion side love to use, of course, use the top floor to their advantage. Remember those hatches, allowing any drop downs, any rotates to the defending side, to any way they can harm them will, of course, be beneficial. Droning still taking place. We did see Repress taking as much time as they need to. Of course, getting onto side as fast as they can, but then from there, using their drones, taking everything slow, making sure they really do check every corner, and of course from the Jaeger play within the bathroom by the Ying and Ash. That slow play, of course, with the teamwork, holding and protecting one another, did prove to help them, and of course win them that round.
So we have both Oof and Lyric roaming upstairs right now. I don't think they've been up. They just got droned out as I was about to say that. But it looks like Lyric might have rotated back downstairs, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, it looks like Oof also just rotated back downstairs. So they both just got droned out. They realized, you know what? We've been droned out. Let's just rotate back downstairs. There's no point in us losing our lives up here. Let's go back, hold the different sections of the map, and look for that push onto sides. The remaining of their teammates kind of peeking out. The Jaeger peeking right first before getting taken out by Smosh playing Thermite. So that's 1 out of the 2 roamers down. Every Lyric and Smash just on the opposite side of the wall of each other. I'm not sure they realize. It's always great to see from this viewpoint, or as the viewer's viewpoint, being able to see how close some of these players get sometimes. The Ash moving straight in and cleaning it up, taking out Lyric, the final roamer. The final 3 players, we're in a 3v5 right now. The final 3 players on the defending side are all inside, all hard, I guess hard angles. We see the official accuracy kind of missing his shots there onto the IQ. Absolutely crazy gunfight between the 2 of them.
Going back to the previous thing, gunfights within Gong. I mean, of course, there was a 1v1 gunfight, but there was a drone right behind, providing the callouts. Diffuser does go down. Trades are happening onto site. We're currently in a 4v1 situation. Lamzu currently being below 25 HP himself. Font is going down. Of course, Wang being Cade, making plays happen, does take down Gez, still in a 1v3 spot, currently stuck on site in a very difficult situation. At least has the nudge to play off, try to bank it across, try to hope they can catch a player and bring it down to a 1v2. Of course, from the attacking side, who is currently defending Diffuser, has a player right above, probably has a nice angle towards Diffuser, and has 2 players on the ground side, not even exactly on site, but holding the different doorways, holding those queues, and hopefully playing off one another. You can see Wang pushing up towards the Sophia, of course, been taken down. Lamzi winning that round for the attackers. So round 7, of course, going in favor of the attackers. Such a close game, back to back, and of course, such a great start for the attacking side.
You know, there was, textbook plays coming out there by Motion. As soon as they got that diffuser down, they all backed off. There was being in a 3v1, there was no pushing that Kaid. They allowed the Kaid to come to them. Motion pulling back. We saw the Claymores coming down from Limesy, plus he was holding the door. We saw 1 player upstairs. The other one had rotated out towards Dragon Staircase, was holding the door onto Throne there. So great gameplay there by Motion to take that win in Throne Armory. So we actually haven't seen a single team defend Armory yet successfully, but it looks like Repress believe they can do it, and they go back down to Armory.
Once again, we do see the defending side, of course, going back to Throne Room and Armory, back to back. Even though they did lose both sides both lost the initial first round. From there, I mean, if this doesn't work out, I'll of course try back, go to the second floor, pretty much do the same strat that Motion do, and then from there go back down to the first floor if needed once the top floor options have been used up. But from here, could actually throw the attack inside of guard. Maybe not expecting them to go back to your throne room, expecting them to jump straight away to the second floor because it worked for their team. But once again, the Cade and Jaeger play coming in to effect. Smosh playing, of course, Therma being a very support character throughout this entire game, allowing these fellow teammates. And of course, Gears playing as Buck, of course, being a very important aspect within the whole top level control. We actually haven't seen a Buck play for, if I'm not mistaken, Kudu at this stage. It's been such an important aspect, especially avoiding the whole Sophia choices or even the Ash breaches, saving those for these sites or even possibility to do damage players later on.
Yeah, I think we'll see, the Buck really work well here, especially with that vertical gameplay. I am kind of surprised we see the Oof, kind of picking it out to try and get that drone denial, be able to get that information for his team using those drones. I am surprised we haven't seen more gameplay from Vigil in this matchup, only because we've seen how much the attacking team are relying and utilizing their drones. And that's only because of how this map, or I guess not only because, but this map, the way this map has been set up, you need to drone almost every single room when you push, and because there's so many rooms, you end up having a lot more drones. But we do see it kind of working there, Oof placing those pests in the perfect spots to be able to stop himself being droned out.
I said that these rooms, of course, there are plenty of them, but that's not only the major thing. I think there's so many hiding spots, so many different spots that, of course, the defending side can hide behind. Maybe not especially being roamers, but of course just being any operator, helping them out. Monty, of course, being droned out already, and Lyric. I see the drones coming into effect. Gong room has been fully droned out. There are no bandits currently stuck between, of course, Gong and, of course, maintenance. And then from there, not too far from side, can still pull back, which we did see from the roamers previously, having drained out, going straight to side, leaving it to a 5v5, not being taken down so early on. Maybe getting a few trades, but rather play safe than sorry. Lyric being heavily tagged toward maintenance as previously droned out. But he isn't, of course, still ready to fight, takes down Lamzi, bringing to a 4v5 in favor of the defending side. And then once again, we see beautiful Nitrous being used by Oof. And then from, Lyric still holding his position. Oof is currently taking down Smosh. Trades are still happening from top level control. Lyric is taken down by Meghead.
Great gameplay here by the defending side, slowly picking out the attack. You see Oof taking out Fluff, but then getting refragged here. He didn't really have much choice there. Got at least one of them gears playing super well, picking as soon as his teammate fell. He obviously turned and immediately finished off that refrag. We're now sitting in a 2v3 with the Evil Eye taking out Gears. Last left is Meghead, who has to deal with this Evil Eye on both sides shooting at him. He's got this Evil Eye, he's on a slither of health and 3 players in front of him. And Wang comes out, peeks Dawn, finishes it off while he's trying to get rid of that Evil Eye.
Really well played from both sides. Quite interesting exactly how it came into effect. Going into round 9, all games have been close, once again tied up. Can we see a breakaway for one of the teams, or will we go into overtime? I mean, for semi-finalists from both sides, worked really hard to get to this point. Of course, proving not to only as causes to their own org, to their own fellow teammates, that hey, we are capable of doing this, we are one of the best, let's represent, let's make it to the finals, let's go as far as we can. We've already made it this far, there's no point in turning back. Go being faked out with the 6-pick going to Valkyrie. Once again, a Nomad being 6-pick as well from the attacking side, going towards Ash. Very, I don't say very meta plays, operators that we have seen previously across the previous rounds, especially being on Theme Park. Valkyrie, of course, being a very important operator, especially with her Nacho Soul and her Valkyrie cams, that she can almost make the same sort of plays as the Pulse will be able to, especially from below, maybe even on site, making use of these hard covers, the furniture around her, to maybe catch off a player, maybe do some damage to fellow teammates, but whatever the case is, to at least get an opportunity going.
Yeah, I think, that last round is a massive win there for Repress. Just before that round, we said that not a single team has actually won Throne Room yet, and Repress go and prove us wrong in that statement. So, massive win on that side. That's the, when we saw Motion first start their defense round, they lost their first 2 rounds trying to protect Barrel. Repress losing the first, obviously winning the second. That kind of, even though the score looks level right now, that does give them 1 up practically. So great win there by them as they now go upstairs, try to defend Bunk.
Okay, as I said before, Bunk is honestly a very difficult place to not only hold, but of course as well to attack. Of course, like I said, if once those crucial points are broken into from initiation room, and of course from there, from waiting, going into yellow corridor, maybe the whole corridor from cafe side, just outside arcade, I mean, these are crucial points that can be very easily opened up. Of course, a Cade, having one of these Cade's plays on the wall, if placed correctly, can cover 3 walls compared to the counterpart to the Bandit, who's only limited to 4, which can only do 4 reinforcements. Yes, they can fake it, of course, back to back. They can make sure and no one can come past. As we've seen the Lyric and the Cade being played, we haven't seen any faking just yet. Maybe it's more just for the guns and maybe just holding them off as long as we can, because we have seen Tom take down to the last 10 seconds, but Diffuser has always gone down. Maybe they can finalize it. A beautiful roam by Lyric, taking down Gears within Throne Room.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful roam here by Lyric. Not being droned out, just holding. Here's the sledge running on through, gets the pick off the sledge. Now they're going to have to go hunting for him as Wang takes out Bluff, leaving them in a 3v5 situation here. Smarsh losing a lot of his health in that fight over there. I'm not sure if they even have the walls opened yet. The Maverick going to try and get rid of those bandit charges so that Thermites can open up the wall. The attacking side, Motion sitting on, low health here. They got to go against 4 players who are all still on full health. We still have 2 C4s in the back pockets of both the Valkyrie. Just before I carry on there, it looks like Maverick has now finished up that wall. So we see the wall now being opened there by the attacking side on to B-bomb. Official holding just behind B there.
Of course, right now for Official currently stuck in a 1v3 situation, holding on the choke point. Flashback's coming in, having his teammates not too far behind to support him. Of course, right now the defending side, of course, have the majority of the players. Only really being damaged was Lyric. Meraki trading shots down, Lams to be taken down by Wang. But even on that note, like I said, Valkyrie not too far behind, making it that softball that was previously made in order for her to pre-fire. Billy takes down Meg Head, Smart returns the favor, takes down You Dead. Currently attacking sides in a 1v3 situation with the last 10 seconds left. Can he get onto side? Can he get the defuse down? Can he go in for the kills? Unfortunately gets himself in a bad situation, gets shot in the back. Not too sure exactly where the shots are coming from. Honestly, from all directions. He has no idea who to peek first, who's the more of a bigger threat. But really well played from the defending side, of course, having at least amount of players in that last couple of seconds. From there, playing off one another, preventing access, using all these different angles to their own advantage.
Yeah, super great defensive round there coming out by Repress. I think one of the most important things there was the fact that they had hard roamers that weren't getting droned out. Those hard roamers then turned off to 2 easy picks for them. So before Motion even realized it, they were at a 3v5 disadvantage. So, great gameplay style coming out by, I get Repress, as I was just saying. For the Repress side, who are you finding is really standing out right now, Black?
Honestly, between the Repress side, of course, playing very well together. Personally, they all, of course, will always be favorites, but I think Lyric, being, of course, throughout the whole game, playing by himself, making these plays, honestly as well, getting these initial entry frags, allowing his teammates from there, have a slight breather, but of course he does eventually get traded. That accuracy in the spots alone from last round, I think he definitely did the most, holding off that crucial choke point, especially when there were 3 players behind it, at least 2 players behind that Thermite breach, or of course being Thermite and Maverick himself. Honestly, I'll probably go for Lyric, as said before, but of course the rest of the team, including accuracy, are of course pulling their weight. So Kudu, on the same note, if it is pull attention towards Motion side, from Motion side, who would you say is doing their best, maybe throughout the entire rounds, maybe not specific rounds, and of course being for them winning, losing?
Yeah, I think we've seen some great teamwork gameplay coming out from the Motion team. But like you said, we've seen the same come from Repress. I think the biggest name that we're speaking about most of the time is Limesy. Really getting those frags off, but his team really providing him with that information for him to get those frags. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more drone work being done here, especially because we saw those 2 initial picks coming out from Lyric only because they weren't able to drone him out correctly. So I'm sure we're going to see a slower, methodical push here from Motion as they try and gain control over Cafe. We see Pele kind of holding Arcade here. Very aggressive style. Really does not want the attacking team to get control over Cafe or Arcade.
They're currently in a very difficult spot, having an entire attacking team right on top of him. I'm sure he's very aware. I mean, he had a beautiful spot there for a nice shot to be placed. Busy pre-firing at the egos. Almost baits out Lams. He does indeed take him down. Studying, like you said, one of the most crucial players right now for them. Smash not too far behind, taking on accuracy. Was trying to support his fellow teammates. Yes, taking on Pele. We did, of course, take down Lamsey. Shots going back and forth. The shotgun coming into play. Oof killed both Fluffers and Smosh. Make head taking down Oof. Currently in a 2v2 situation. Good trades from both sides. Now the defending side must just play off time. Make sure the diffuser does not go down.
You know, extremely aggressive gameplay from both teams there. You know, Repress just kind of taking it straight to Motion. They realized Motion had control over Cafe and they tried to take it back from them. We saw a great gameplay there by Oof using the shotgun, taking out two of their players before being picked off himself. We're now sitting in a 1v2 situation here as they go up the staircase and Mech is taken out from the left-hand side. He is sitting on just over 25% health in a 1v2 situation here. He finally gets taken out by Wang as he tries to push on into sides.
Really well played by Wang, holding possession with his fellow teammates. Unfortunately, once again, Tom was taken down. Had Diffuser, at least wasn't in a very difficult spot, but like I said, the initial push from both sides, playing really aggressive. Tried to, of course, sandwich a player Roma, tried to take him down, from there move towards sides, but I really don't think we've actually seen really much plays from the defending side supporting their Roma. Being in a difficult spot themselves, of course, being taken down. Unfortunately, accuracy tried to help out his team and was taken down straight away, but that shotgun play came into massive effect. Honestly, bringing it back, was taken down, but being that 2v2 situation, it could have gone any way. Right now, of course, Repress being in favor of this, of course, right now, I'm sorry, Motion side currently winning it.
It's pretty good gameplay. You know, we were talking a little bit before about individuals shining there, but you know, Wang there is sitting on 8 and 6. We've seen both Pele, Oof, and Lyric be on the rope, right? And whenever we see them getting finally taken out, the last alive is normally just Wang sitting there holding angles on site. He's been a very good site holder. Great teamwork from the overall team here. But very interesting that, you know, he's normally been the one that we see getting those last picks onto the attacking side. Motion kind of just falling apart there after they entered the building super well. They were able to take control of Cafe. I just don't think they expected Repress to be so aggressive in their game style, pushing back on to Cafe.
As you did say, of course, being the guy of the most kills often gets his name out to the most, but we forget the finer details of the overall team. As like, of course, being Wang, being the support player, being the last player to rely on. Of course, that's already a whole lot of pressure to be honestly put into that bad situation. Knowing that these players are, of course, really good, having all these viewers, all these spectators, having people cast and shout over your name. Honestly, every little bit that you do, of course, does take a toll on these players. Of course, being in these very good players already. Lyric taking down Smash. From there, of course, the drone is going through, but I mean, they honestly handle these situations really well, make it look like it's just a normal everyday game. Yes, there is eventually money on the line, trying to make it further into the bracket, but both sides are taking this really well, playing really well, and of course, representing themselves as players, as a team, as an organization, extremely well.
So we see the initial pick out onto the Thermite here, which is an extremely important pick for this, especially for this bomb site. They're now not going to be able to open up any of the wall, and now they can't even push their way in using the Ying. Left with a Zofia, Nomad, and IQ trying to push onto Throne is going to be extremely difficult. The Mute kind of pushing in super aggressive there. Mecha kind of taking him out. That's one of the roamers down, but it looks like the attacking side Motion are going to try and do this through vertical gameplay.
Once again, the vertical gameplay coming into effect. Unfortunately, the attacking side really down 2 players, but so on the defending side, Oof was taken down. But right now we do have both Accuracy and Wang holding down side. Yes, the hole above is open, but of course using the Sophia charges, really wasting 2 of them. But from there, of course, they still have the stuns that they can be made use of. Lams not too far behind with Diffuser in hand. guarding one another, ensuring if one player does go down. They haven't spotted out the player within maintenance just yet. I mean, this play from the gun made it be fairly important. Exactly where it is right now, I can't exactly recall, but he is blinded at this stage. Pushing up together, be very difficult spot. He is currently stunned by the Sophia, pushing wide by the Lyric, taking down Fluffles, and of course getting down himself, being Lyric. Taken out by the players, pushing together. Really well played, a dynamic duo between Lamzi, of course, Makehead supporting one another from the initial gong room all the way around towards maintenance. Yes, the Master coming in, taking a slithers of health away from Lamzi.
A great gameplay again by Lyric. Now it's all up to accuracy, Pele, and Wang. And Wang once again just holding hard onto site, ready to finish off. I don't think they realize that Pele is also holding behind Burn there. Gets the shots off onto Limesy, finishes it up, taking out Mayhead. That massive LMG coming in clutch there. Just hold down the trigger and spray.
I mean, really well played once again from 3 different angles, being used to pinpoint the door frame. Unfortunately, there's only one way onto side at that point, and it's through the door. Really well played. Of course, by Repress taking that first map, which of course was indeed their pick. Going into map 2, being Oregon, being chosen by Motion, entering as the attacking side. Honestly, Kudi, what would you suggest exactly what we brought over to the second map? What would both teams do to change up? What would they bring up? Anything about roaming? Do you think maybe playing a little bit too slow, playing over aggressive? What would you recommend to both teams at this point to continue, maybe to fix up?
You know, I think we saw a heavy roam being utilized there by the Repress team. I think Motion need to try and, kind of slow things down a little bit, maybe utilize their time a little bit more, drone out a little bit more. It seemed like every time they were pushing one of the roamers, they were ending up losing a key player. So, they lost that both the Ying and the Thermite super early in that last round, which put them at a massive disadvantage. Meant they had to push through the one of 2 doors practically into site there, which is obviously extremely difficult for them. But, with the Jackal being banned, it's extremely difficult for them to track down those defenders. I think overall, I mean, both these teams are playing incredibly well. I think that, Repress just kind of finished it out there. They made sure they were aggressive enough to take those picks onto the Motion side to force them to play that entire round differently in a way that suited Repress. Repress obviously just really enjoying that aggressive game style play there, and even taking it to Motion even when they didn't need to.
The Repress played fairly well, especially considering it being their map. Motion not too far behind, took the first 2 initial rounds as a defending side. From there, of course, was very close, but of course I think the vertical gameplay from both sides never really was the game changer. Like it must be of course the teamwork amongst players countering the roamers, sandwiching them into a spot, working off one another. Once all teams are getting in, all teams are ready. I think without further ado, let's hop straight into the second map, and we'll see what both teams have in store for us this time around.
So as we know, our second map is Oregon once again, the most picked map in ranked gameplay, which I'm kind of not surprised. It is a great map. It's at least as casters, we're getting to know it extremely well at this point. I think this is our 4th time just casting this map alone in this tournament. So definitely a favorite pick from the Siege players. I'm sure we're going to see some typical bans here coming out. We see the Thermite being taken out. I believe the last time we saw a Habana being taken out. So kind of typical for this map specifically, especially trying to stop people from opening up blue when defending the basement side. So next up, we see a pick coming out from Motion. It'll be interesting to see who they try and utilize. And we see a Ying band coming out, which I'm sure is a direct relation to what was happening in the game we just saw. We saw Ying coming out a lot, being utilized to push into tough spots and get rid of those roamers. So, I guess I'm not very surprised with that pick.
When the Ying, of course, winning that initial guns out within bathroom and with alongside the Ash, blinding in, of course the teammate got blind, but Ying of course not being negatively affected by her own flashbangs herself, pushing in towards the defending side. Now the band between Master as well, being one of the most picked operators previously. Of course Clash, as we've seen before, especially on Oregon, can be an extremely difficult operator to play against, and even a major threat to either the defending and attacking side. We have seen, unfortunately, some team kills from the defending side. Playing right behind the Clash, but it's always a given, either if it's a Monty or a Clash. If you're a main, one of those characters, I'm pretty sure you've been hit more by your teammates than the opposing side.
Yeah, we saw a lot of gameplay coming out from the Maestro there, so I'm sure that's, again, I think these bans that we're seeing this round are specifically and directly related to the amount of play that those operators saw in the last game, kind of forcing it out. But we're finally going to see a Thatcher being played, which is something I don't actually think Plet and I have seen as of yet. I think he's been banned in every single game that we've casted. The 6th pick coming out onto the Hibana, bringing that heavy breacher, and the Bandit switching over onto the Wamai. Fairly interesting, but having that Kaid, they're either going to have to Kaid the hatches, or they're going to have to try and Kaid the blue wall, trying to stop that push into the supply and laundry room.
Straight into laundry, working from the bottom, making our way up. Of course, we haven't really seen a lot of players on kitchen. However, yesterday's game was one team did, of course, choose kitchen straight off the bat, and of course, won the entire game. It's one of the starts. I don't think both teams really know what to do. It's more common to go straight to basement. If basement doesn't work, of course, try it again or move top to the top floor. There really isn't much in between after that. Of course, right now, everything will come down to how blue will be held, and of course, the different stairs. Freezer hasn't really been the most played section within this tournament right now from what we could see. But of course, like you said, the Thermite's being banned away and the Thatcher being played. Quite an interesting choice. Of course, at least with the Maverick now isn't the most important, but it's still there if needed. I think between the Thermites and the Banner, pretty much the Maverick himself can do so much more, so much danger between the Thatcher. He pretty much can counter both of those different operators if they're all bad.
So we're seeing a, I guess, typical push for this site where the players stacking up, pushing down below into blue. Looks like Fluff is going all the way up to top to push down through. Looks like Flash is coming out here, pushing the defenders back into sight. It looks like they have control over that already. Looks like they're, they just reinforced that. So they had that open. They thought, okay, maybe let's try and hold blue after that massive push. Official falls to Smush in an unfortunate push right there, pushing that door. But with that Thatcher down, it's now going to be extremely difficult to get rid of those Kaids that have been placed onto the blue wall.
I said before, at least I do still have a Maverick as a backup. Of course, between the Habana and the Maverick, they have to meet up once again. But the flashbangs coming across the drawing players will be a very important factor, especially with that push towards Blue's side. Really well played for the defenders, especially cool losing a player, but moving back towards side, which I already know that they can hold. Plus, we see team players rotating behind. Pele taking down Meghead, currently in a 3v5 situation in favor of the defenders. Wamar still being played. Really good operator play, especially with his gun. And of course, as you can see, Wamar's absorbing the flashbangs, moving into a spot that wouldn't damage the defending side as much as the attacking side would like to. Maverick, of course, did make a hole above. Does he have grenades in hand? I'm pretty sure he still does. As soon as that falls, at least they do have their banner not too far behind. And from here, the last player being Fluffles as Ash can hold them back behind Pillar. Right now he's been really close towards accuracy. Accuracy does indeed hear him. Pillar not too far behind to back him up. Once again we have Lamsy fend off his teammates. Oof took down both Lamsy and Fluffles from Freezer. Really tight angle being played, but really good call-outs on the team, holding currently in a 1v5 situation, taking down Pele, taken down himself by Lyric. The trades are coming in, the communication is there, really well played by the defending side.
I'm sure Repress are on such a high after winning that first map. Now winning the first round on the second map, I'm sure they're extremely excited about this. Really just a dominant performance there by Repress, defending that lower bomb side. They got those first important picks off, like the Thatcher. Sorry, without that Thatcher, they weren't able to open up those walls easily. They only had that Maverick. So I think just overall, good hold there by Repress.
Going straight to Kids, Storms, of course, Storm's main hall. Very interesting, like we said before, back and forth between the top level and the bottom level. At least on top now, they don't have to worry about the top floor control. Honestly, Dorm's main window will be an important factor, but we do often see the big tower plays. We have seen Romans previously within this map, and of course from what we have seen between the players themselves, it'll be very interesting to see exactly what happens. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, could you please correct me if I'm wrong, was that a 6-pick to a random operator?
Yeah, I actually think it was a 6-pick onto a random op. I was wondering the exact same thing. I was wondering either he 6-picked onto the Legion and it just wasn't showing up, or he clicked random and it gave him Legion. But we've really, taking some great shots there in that last round, finishing it up. I don't know if you've realized, but you see extremely aggressive gameplay by Oof, Accuracy, and Lyric, while Pelé and Wang hold down sides. That's been a typical, I guess, strat for them so far in every defending round that we've seen this team. It'll be interesting to see if they utilize a similar strat in this next round. This is normally a type of site where you want to, protect Attic, obviously. So I'm sure we're going to see at least one of the players holding in there. It'll be interesting to see if they utilize any roamers to kind of hold big tower. The attacking side going for the push to try and get control over Master Bedroom.
Taking full control over Master Bedroom from their very good choice. They can go within walk in. The lower closet from there break open that whole reinforced wall. Of course there will be Banished or Kaid tricked, but of course having a Maverick, having a Thatcher in hand, breaking that whole thing open and going towards game room, having that same plans we saw last time around. Really clever. Not really of the defender sides are holding it. I think there's a lot of focus down below. We do have Pelé holding down bottom, so he's going from there. Of course we'll rotate around. If he rotates now, he can of course catch off the Ash, who is being played by Gears. From there will be a major blow, especially holding down that entire side, known as clear. Of course, the other remaining teammates will be streamlining to different sides. We know, but we do have one guy on balcony. Fluff was basically making a massive Maverick hole. A beautiful Nitro Soul coming down just below Maverick, hitting for about 95, leaving Maverick on a slim amount of HP. Trades are coming through. Gridlock taken down. Very important side effect as well for the rotate. Smosh taking down Wang. Right now we're in a 4v4 situation. Of course, the both help Pelé and of course Fluff is very low themselves. But beautiful Valkyrie cameras as well from the defending side.
A great play there by Pelé. Got the call out that the Maverick was opening up that wall with the C4, just putting him on a slither of health, unfortunately missing it out. Gears taking out every Lyric, leaving them in a 2v4 situation. Although Fluff and Gears both on a low amount of health. It'll be interesting to see. Looks like Official pushing through the rotate there back into Attic. We've kind of holding on to the, I guess, west side of the site. I'm not sure if they can open up. They just opened up, I guess, that walk in into games room. So I'm sure we're going to see them push that. But I'm not sure if they see that Oof can see through or has that wall open up. But they do push completely through. Limesy with the plant going down, shots coming out. Oof takes out, but gets immediately refragged down. The diffuser goes down, and Smosh finishes it off with a double kill, finding his shots onto Accuracy.
Really well played from both teams that time around. Of course, being in a 2v4 situation, holding that hard angle, watching Walk in breach. Took down one player, couldn't connect to the second player, but from there already turned into a 2v3. The trades happened through that, got to a 2v2. Unfortunately, Oof was taken down as well, even into a 1v2 situation. Unfortunately, could not pull us around straight away. Maybe the 6-pick to the random operator was, I don't know if it was a 6-pick that he said, or maybe it wasn't a mistake, or really it was not this information being displayed correctly. But once again, straight back to the Legion. Very interesting choice. Going to retry Kids, Dorms, and even Dorms main hall. Can they try something different? Can they maybe bandit charge, trick the walls, try to prevent access towards the south? Of course, Maverick being a very important factor. If that Nitro Soul did the complete damage instead of just about 95 plus minus damage, they could have possibly won that round fairly easily.
Yeah, I think, again, we're seeing how close these two teams, or at least how close this matchup is between these two teams. I think, they're going back to the same site. I'm sure they believe that they only made small errors that led to the loss of that round, which is fairly interesting. They kind of gave master bedroom away fairly easily, but they tried to use that C4 from below to take out the Maverick. Kind of surprised that it didn't actually take out the Maverick. I mean, that's such a small area, and you know, having a C4 that close to you, I don't know. I guess if it was me, I probably would have died because that's just my luck. But we're seeing again a roam coming out here by Lyric, running all the way down. Wang doing his usual thing and holding down sights. Looks like he's going to try hold down Attic. Pele all the way downstairs in the basement again.
If it worked quite well last time, might as well try it again. But like I said, really good breach once again by Oof, holding down that breach if they do make it through. Pele literally wrapped behind a couple of the players, yes, still being outside. Not ready too bad, but Lamzi being Jackal probably can see the feet and the footprints. Depends where he went down from. But pulling together, reunited as a team, making use of the drones, might as well push when they know it's safe, not take a massive gamble like they did last time. Oof once again just holding down the stairs, waiting for the player loop, which was of course Smosh. Okay, grenade, try to cook right in the default spot where players usually sit. Really beautifully well placed, cooked it just the mount correctly, and of course placing it right off the rebound of the ceiling, which of course opened it up.
Yeah, interesting to see the Maverick play coming out here once again, trying to open up this wall into Games Room so they can make that push. The C4 not being utilized as of yet. I don't think... Oh, I guess Pele has been taken down from his roam, so there is no player down below that can finish off. As I say that, Lyric takes out Smush through the open window. Gears finishes it up by taking out Lyric, who was trying to hold the window onto the breach. I'm sure he was going to hold close breach, hoping that once they open that up, he can just push through. Limesy pushing up back staircase here. I'm not sure if they realize, or at least I'm not sure if Oof realizes that they have a Jackal pushing up that staircase.
If Jackal, of course, being Lamzi, having the aim already there, of course, just playing around, of course, Oof not too far behind, also being a brilliant player himself. From that walk-in, we do have levels with the diffuser. Trying down to start, already have knows the spot that was there, is taken down by Oof, but of course, from there, diffuser being down, massive blow towards the attacking side, still in a 3v3 situation, shots towards accuracy, taking him down to just over 50 HP. Oof as well. Of course, the health advantage on the attacking side, but of course, being a game of Siege, one-shot headshot is a mechanic, and of course, it is very realistic. Yes, Sophia down below, being set on a Legion, baiting out Oof. Really well played, turning the tower, making a 2v3 situation.
Yeah, great play there by the Zofia, taking the Legion and just pushing on through C4, coming out and downing the downing mech, but Wang finishes it up, taking out Gears, left Wang in a 1v2 situation. The diffuser was about to go down, but the Jackal pulls out, pushes him, misses the shots off onto them. You see the pistols even coming out here. Final shots get taken up by Wang, who finishes it up onto Limesy. Quite a stressful last shots there.
I would love to picture these players within their own communications, what is going through their minds, what information is being relayed. Of course, one player being down, being res, of course, being attacking side, defending side of things. In a 1v2 situation, at least down one of the players, but then from there, out of ammo, busy caught in the middle of a reload as the opposing player peeked wide. From their pullback, shots being missed on both sides, pulling out the pistol, other player going in. I'm not too sure exactly was it meant to be a pistol play or was it going for the knife, but really well played. And currently Repress is taking the lead by 1 round.
Yeah, very aggressive style there by the final players. I think I don't actually think he expected the Jackal to push. I was kind of surprised at the Jackal push, but you know, I mean, I'm almost not surprised because of how aggressive these two teams have been. But yeah, taking it down all the way to the pistols. I think he was trying to go for the knife there, because it looked like he was in full-on sprint through that doorway.
I mean, of course, the knife being very beneficial. Of course, unfortunately, for Game of Siege, it isn't really an economic point of view. I guess at least that's one less thing to worry about, especially to see how stressful the game already is, how many mechanics you have to worry about, coming from a different point of view, worry about grappling, compared to a game like CSGO where economy can pretty much turn a tide over everything, but really well played. Once again, we're going straight down to the bottom. Once again, it all comes down towards tower side, which we have seen push before, and of course blue, which were the deciding factors between these rounds. Maybe one player coming towards Freeze's side, being a very difficult spot where, of course, Pele was playing before, got the last two players. We were playing behind Pillar, using a very tight angle, having maybe additional stress there, maybe taking away the player's attention from Freezer, making him worry about something else from there, pinpointing and maybe sandwiching the defending side rather than vice versa.
Gears already finishing it up, taking out every Lyric who was on the roam. That's a great pick for them. One more roamer they don't have to worry about. It looks like all 4 defenders are now on site, with Ash pushing in, but Pele finishes it up by taking out Smooth. Also, again, great pick. Should be able to utilize any flanks that they need to now. So if any of the defenders need to rotate back upstairs, at least they don't have to worry about any of the nomads. Maverick trying to make those walls soft so that the Ash can breach and charge it, but official accuracy holding down that pillar extremely well, protecting both the white staircase and blue. The Ash charge coming out here, he's now going to have to utilize just that pillar, but gets pushed out. The mech head gets the final shot onto accuracy, leaving them in a 3v4 situation. Pele falls, leaving it in a 2v4 situation. Great attacking round here, really moving slow and methodical, slowly taking out the defending side, who have mostly sat on site.
As I said before, it's a 4v2 situation, having of course the attacking side push together a single unit. Beautiful ass charge coming in. After breaking deployable shield, which was intended, the Walmart's placement glitched a couple seconds before. They had them to be able to sit in that same defensive position, a very good position, allowed to rotate all the way through, freeze them, which I don't think the attacking side are quite aware of. Turning the sides, making a 3v2 as Oof takes down the opposing player. Cade himself falls down. Oof once again finds some mech head, finds the head, takes him down. Even in a 1v2 situation, he has 2 rotators spell behind the deployable shield, and of course frees the door. He finds shots into the player, other player being Maverick, pushing through, trying to support his player, playing a super aggressive. Can they realize the rotating hole? Yes, they can, playing behind the deployable shield, being a very difficult spot. Oof, literally on a slither of HP, literally down to the just below 10, possibly even 1. Bringing it back in a 1v1 situation against the Ash, playing with the pistol in hand. Unfortunately, Lamzi with the fully automatic rifle being there. Actually, honestly, a very good gun. Definitely would be up against this gun, especially when you have a pistol in hand. Yes, of course, headshots are still a thing, but I mean, if you do make a start mistake, make a start miscalculation, miss your initial shot, that's especially seeing how much HP he was playing off of.
Yeah, I think Oof might have thought that Limesy was a lot closer and was going to be a lot more aggressive, so thought that he didn't have time to reload his primary weapon, pulling out that pistol for those final shots. Being in a slither of health, I think at that point, every part of your body is like a headshot, all Limesy had to do was hit him once to finish it off. It would have been a very impressive clutch coming out there from Oof. I believe they were in a 2v4 situation. It would have been a 4K from him if he had finished it out. But, they go back downstairs. They really believe that they can hold the site. I mean, they did the first round. They made slight mistakes, losing important key players in this 4th round. So we'll see now if we go for a similar tactic. Lyric getting picked up very early on in the last round. Be interesting to see if he plays a little bit more passive this round and where he decides to situate himself for that roam. The Nomad being brought out, obviously because of the use of roamers, especially on this map.
Of course, map 2 being Oregon, being picked up by Motion, deciding to attack first time around. Of course, it wasn't going in their favor, but once again, it is a tight game. At this rate, they can pull it back and bring it into the 3rd map. Really well played, slowly but surely making things happen, adapting to the situation. Of course, having a very interesting play from the defending side, pushing through the rotator hole once again, while Mar playing the same spot worked already well, allowing Oof to turn a 1v5 into a 1v1 situation. You don't really see the really amazing plays, very consistent, very calm-minded. Of course, handled the situation very well. Waiting, Katie's waiting there for the banner trick. Smoke not too far behind. Really has a little hole open. Maybe from there we can see a very cool play of him now, just so wasting the ADS charges from the Ash side of things. Wama are busy absorbing that flashbang, trying to pre-fire the guy behind pillar once again, marking the barbed wire. Letting the players know quite a difficult situation as Wama behind the deployable shield once again, holding very tight angles. He's the Maverick open up his little hole, taking down the Cade, and then from there we'll see how it plays out. Play of course being heavily tagged. Oh, I mean, no, heavily tagged for the corner you just took for milliseconds. A beautiful trade, taking down a player, making a smash down from Oof, taking down Fluffles behind that pillar spot, very tight angle, having a player on the stairs, having Lumsy not too far behind as Ash to play off of the teammates.
Oof holding those extremely aggressive angles onto Blue there. Helps, finishing it up. Looks like he's going to try peak staircase, but ends up getting taken down by Limesy, who had rotated all the way back down onto Blue after they lost Fluff there. Limesy kind of pushing through into the pillar or boiler room area right now, but Shield still being held by the Wamai down all the way down the corridor. Extremely strong position for the attacking team to have to deal with.
Beautiful place from Brother Maverick. Open up these different angles, try to find the feet of the opposing players. Yes, it won't be an instant kill. Maybe he can just damage the players quite far. As you can see, Official being heavily attacked as Jaeger, very important player at this stage, using his utilities to his best. His ADS charges, of course, holding back the Ash in the early rounds. Still in a 4v4 situation. Ella being taken down by Meghead. Of course, the smoke coming in, taking out Smosh was on this level of the HP from the previous engagement. Right now, Smoke playing within his own smoke, of course, not being taking damage. Might throw off the opposing team.
Holding that corner with the shotgun, another smoke goes out. That's 2 out of the 3 canisters. With only 20 seconds left on the clock. The defending team is stuck in that fillet, but he peeks down below the Maverick. Wang uses his C4 to take out Lanzi, leaving him in a 2v2 situation. Almost everyone is on a slither of health except for Wang, finishing it up in a 1v2. Gears is left alone to try and take out both of the defenders or plants, but finishes it up. Once again, Wang holding down sight, utilizing his team's ability to slow down the attackers, get it to a low time that the attackers have to push him, and he just finishes it up. Great gameplay, great teamwork.
As you just stated, Wang being a very important deciding factor of how the round ends. From the previous 1v4, of course, he was taken down quite early on, but his teammates are quite capable of doing exactly the same, making sure they can win it back or at least take down the players while trying to do so. Like I said, Wang playing a very defensive character, of course, playing Cade, being a hard anchor throughout the previous 2 maps. I mean, really well played by him, keeping calm-headed. No, like I previously did say, all the pressure is pretty much on him. At least he did have a teammate not too far behind. But of course, him having the majority of the HP, he must win this engagement. If his teammate, of course, absorbed 1 or 2 bullets despite the headshots, he would have been dead. Having a 1v1 situation with all these different angles and all these different rooms to worry about would be very difficult. But once again, we go into towards Storms, which proved very successful for the previous defense. But can we see something once again from more of the addict side of things? Everything seems pretty streamlined towards Armory side.
I think we've seen this same lineup come out from the defending side here. We saw last game Ella was banned. We've actually seen her being played at almost every single round now, especially with that extremely powerful shotgun, utilizing the close quarter fights that they are having. I guess it didn't really work for Lyric in the last round. He pushed onto Boiler Room. The attackers were just slightly further than he had anticipated, not getting those shots off and losing it out. Fortunately, his teammate Wang holding back and getting those final shots. But we'll see an interesting hold here. It looks like they're trying to really hold Attic, which I don't actually think has been pushed by the attacking team yet. So a lot of utility going down an Attic that may not actually be required.
I mean, compared to the previous rounds where the same situation was played out, of course, balcony towards Walking has been the go-to for these teams. I mean, not only these teams, of course, we have seen from the previous players, SNC Platform currently joining out, Meraki currently joining out Armory, and showing there's no players, allowing his teammate to hop in safely, who is the Sophia being played by Gears. At this stage, I mean, really well played, of course. Players have been triggering in elements. I was about to say the Ellen's gun is not one of the best in the game, but of course her element trip mounts are really, really useful. And once hit by the PR stand, everything goes downhill from there. As Smosh, proving the point, taking on Pelé, making it a 5v4 situation, giving an entry frag, and hoping that his team super early on. Bandits from down below once again, being oof. Switching places with Pelé. Being on the rotate, try to catch up the Jackal who was there before. Try to find, of course, Jackal not being played this round, but try to find that aggressive player. We do have Gridlock main door playing down there, watching the flank and the rotate.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Oof realizes that there is a mech upstairs outside just watching that doorway. We already see there's a lot of Gridlock utility on that backside trying to stop these rotates. I don't actually think there's anything Oof is going to be able to actually do on this rotate. The second he takes any shots to get rid of any of those, they're going to realize that he's there. He does have a silenced pistol, but the Gridlock standing just outside of front door will see that being taken out, will be able to get those shots taken off. He gets the first hit onto them. I think he realizes that he is outside. He takes the first couple shots, but the Ash pushes down the staircase. Oof, in a difficult situation, is going to have to rotate back downstairs unless he wants to lose his life here. He's in a very difficult situation in a 2v1, trying to fight his way back onto stairs so he can get that flank off and help his teammates relieve some pressure that's being applied onto sites. The diffuser's going down as Fluff once again plants the diffuser. Great support player as he's utilized the support play constantly throughout this matchup. See the shots coming out. Gears losing a lot of life. Limesy losing his life to Lyric. Fluff takes down official accuracy, leaving it a 1v4 between Lyric and the rest of Motion. That shotgun coming out by Lyric absolutely disgustingly takes out Smosh, leaving it in a 1v3 situation with 20 seconds left on the defused.
And with the shotgun, she could have opened up that soft wall, maybe gone for a defuse. Just the attackers were super low during that fight, but of course still being a 1v3, having shotgun in hand. Ready is not a go-to range gun, but Ready well played, but of course Motion getting into that spot, once again attacking that same walk in, which unfortunately the other team did not repress side for, did not take in consideration. Like we did say before, the Roma being banded stuck on bottom floor with the beautiful use of Gridlock, ensuring that if the of course do go through it, will be damaged and the silent cues will be played. And being Gridlock as well, just watching everything go down. Yeah, honestly, Lumsy almost sorry, not Lumsy, the previous bandit almost made the play go off. I mean, almost baiting the opposing player, which was being played by Gridlock, to almost over peak, overextend, and then from there you're taken down. But of course, Lumsy from the stairs from above went down from the stairs and in support of the Gridlock, and from there having a 1v2 situation and still getting a kill.
A super close matchup once again by these two teams. We're in the half-time zone now where the two teams switch sides. And we're sitting at a 3v3, the exact same position as we were in the last map. Plet, what do you think is going to happen now in the second half? What are you expecting from both sides of the team? What do you think we're going to see changes in? Do you think we're going to see such aggressive game style as we have seen? Maybe slightly slower?
Of course, both teams playing really well at the stage, and we have seen, of course, the rounds being so close back to back as we have previously. From this point on, I think they will be able to bring it back 4-4, but from there, honestly, one of the teams will be able to go full send and, of course, get the rounds in favor of them. But now from map 2, Motion, of course, had the attack inside. Has it honestly been their choice, having that initial advantage. But now from the, of course, repression side, they can, of course, do it from the defending side, which they, of course, do really well. Super aggressive players. I don't think if you're attacking, you really ever do expect the defending team to be super aggressive. Almost pretty much pushing you. Try beating the players, try to get in towards the building. Of course, they realize their mistakes. They see what the other team has done. Of course, being pretty straightforward strats, being straight textbook with, of course, being Oregon, being, like you said, really highly picked within the ranked scene, being 93%. From there, they're just reusing strats, making it better. Can they adjust to it? That's the real question. Of course, being a mirror being played, watching Freeze's side, saw Freeza being ready more played by motion, Bupado or Ma, having a deployable shield to rotate between the hole previously made just towards the end of Freeza, then from there going towards the Freeza doorway. Oof playing really well, using his tight angles, which of course being against them. Tap down the Cade, who is currently forced back to start. Gears, unfortunately, with a friendly fire games, Lamsy taking down a very important player. Unfortunately, it did happen. This is our second mirror team call across the week that we have witnessed for ourselves. Kudu, do you think that is super crucial? Do you think they can still bring it back, or do you think that'll be the deciding factor of this round?
So I actually just missed your question there. I was so focused on the Ashe push there. Ashe throwing out her stuns, getting the stun off, but great gameplay there. The Kaid slightly fell back, allowed the Jaeger to push through, who wasn't flash, taking down the Ashe, who had just run around the corner. We're now sitting in a 3v4 situation with the defenders having the advantage here. It seems like they are able to kind of hold them out. Smosh getting the shots, or the final shots onto Lyric, finishing it up. Wang with the rotate, finishing it up. Mech. We're now left in a, well, I guess a 1v3 situation as Wang is down. I don't think he's going to be able to get to his teammate to be picked up. It's great to see the mirror being played. We saw the mirror being brought out by motion as well on the first map. She wasn't used quite as well there, and so they didn't pick her again. But it looks like with those mirrors, they were really able to, deny a lot of those pushes, forcing the attackers to push in different ways, just getting that information, getting that utility to their teammates. Final shots coming out by both players here, missing those shots. The handgun coming out, Gears with the C4 takes out Wang, and I guess shot one of the last players? Oh, how did it show? Oh, right, so one of them were down. Okay, I get that. So I guess the down player didn't die yet.
The down player, of course, coming from the Nacho, so still busy bleeding out, unfortunately. I think it was a very crucial factor that I think I've missed as well. But from there, you just think it's still in a 2v2 situation. You overthink the final details, still think in a very difficult spot. But unfortunately, Gilsum really played well behind that mirror. Did pull in favor, of course, the motion side. But from this point, like I said, it's still early stages. We've seen both teams, of course, make it 4-4, then one team running away with it. If I'm not mistaken, Repress as well lost their first time defending. And from there, switching it up, we haven't seen Repress hold. Maybe they can switch it up, maybe do Kitchen. I think Motion definitely didn't go towards Kitchen. They completely avoided it. Maybe it'll be a complete blow to both sides. Maybe it'll throw them underneath the bus and not expect them. But of course, going straight back to the default dorms. And from here, can they hold and make use of the... Actually, of course, still hold attic, but then from there, put all your deployables, all your focus within balcony, and then from there towards walk-in.
Okay, so the first couple attacking rounds, we didn't see Motion go attack attic once. They constantly pushed master bedroom and made that push into the games room there. Do you think we're going to see a similar style here from Repress in their attack? Or do you think we're going to finally see, an attic push? I see a lot of their drones on the attic side.
Always believe if it's not broken, don't fix it. Might as well keep doing until it doesn't work, and then from there redo everything. But I mean, so far, as you can see players going towards balcony side, of course, waiting for the player maybe over peeking. We do have Fluffers 2 like really far left by the window, either playing it slow or try to catch a player off guard using a tighter angle and not expecting someone to be holding it straight away. Lams, of course, holding games room window, any aggressive push there, and just as well, the sound cue from there, we're able to open it up. Ready, breaches coming through, opening up some, I'm not too sure exactly if that was a ceiling or one of the windows.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what was opened up there, but we're seeing a very similar style push here, stacking up on the balcony area here. We're going to see them try to take over Armory side. Looks like Lyric is going to be the one watching for the rotates, going to go hunt down those roamers. I don't actually think that there are any roamers for him to hunt down, as Motion go for a heavy hold here. All of their players in sight watching hard angles.
Let me see, we got Mac here holding one of the dorms, the teammate not too far behind being Giz. I think not roaming this time around will be very important factor this time, having all the players near side, if anything, close enough. Maverick be taking down a major blow to the attacking side. Smosh found himself a 2k. Lyric taking down Lamsey, leaving a 4v3 situation. Now the whole idea towards the game room is not even possible unless they try and make a plan of nades. There is of course already a hole there made for the Maverick. That might not be the perfect hole that we're planning for, but a hole is a hole and still can be used. As you can see, the Jackal playing around. The banner charges can't go off because the banner is dead as well. Have to make use of the default doorways. They, of course, have to break some ball by giving away his position. Pele, of course, really in attic, which is really interesting. Of course, having a hard breach himself. From here, he can support his teammate. Of course, I do know he's here. I'm pretty sure if there is a rotate towards attic and the one bomb B, through that can be major access. And as you can see, we do have Smosh holding it.
Oof going down from Fluff as he drops down at the Capital, gets finished up. Fluff finishing it up for Motion, taking out every lyric. You know, again, great hold there by Motion. I think that they, you know, once they had defended master bedroom side, the rotate came around to kind of push for Attic, but Attic completely defended. We had that Legion standing on top of the bookcase, getting that peek down into Attic. I don't think that was expected from the Capital when he dropped down, you know, onto the lower end of Attic. We're seeing the similar operators coming out from both teams now. We're finally going to see a kitchen dining hall hold here. Super excited for this. This is only the third time. We're also going to see a 6-pick onto a Kavira by Gears. Super interesting operator to be used in this matchup.
Compared to the last round where they try to avoid roaming as much as possible, and then of course working in their favor, try to switch up once again, but while they have a gridlock, which of course was a big win for them previously, but they do have a Jackal, which is pretty much just as good. Try to find those footprints, try to find exactly where the player is, but like we did say, Kitchen is very actually secure, and as well dining room, there's only a handful of choke points that can be open between meeting security and of course small tower side, even showers. But they can make use of a players who deploy a shot towards small tower side, holding off the entry from small tower, having a play maybe playing towards showers or even shower corridor themselves, be quite interesting. But exactly the top level control play will be deciding factor, especially within the top of small tower, can see straight down into dining hall.
It'll be interesting to see where that Kavira is going to be roaming. We see the Jackal being played by every lyric, so we're definitely going to see an important... I mean, I think the Jackal is going to become very, very important in this round. It is also interesting to say that the last round, they didn't have a single roamer. So perhaps, just given that, Repress won't be on the hunt for those roamers immediately, but Smosh taking out Wang, and an extremely important pick here, taking out that Blackbeard. So it looks like they're stacked up, trying to push and take control of small tower. Looks like every lyric is going hunting, but gets picked out onto the roamer upstairs, but doesn't get the Kavira.
So the Blackbeard especially being a very important operator with his deployable shields. Smosh currently holding upstairs with 26 HP, currently being pushed by the Maverick. I'm not too sure exactly if that's the smartest move, especially by themselves, but I mean Lyric not too far behind, ready to support the teammates, pushing Smosh from two different angles, one from of course Dorm's main window and one from games room window. We saw we have the three operators towards side, Mech head playing showers, Namzi and Fluff is busy playing on bomb A, which is of course down in hall. The beautiful Womar second in the flashbangs, of course having an Jaeger ADS not too far behind. Of course, shots being pre-fired, accuracy of course being caught official accuracy can obviously back it up. Play taking down Lamzi, a massive blow to the defending side, currently in a 4v4 situation. The HP from the defending side of course is lower than the attacking, but at this stage it's so far to say exactly who will win this round.
Yeah, it's been super interesting to say that it looks like the attacking side have kind of given up hunting for the roamers, even though, I mean, every lyric is still, you know, on the hunt for them. You see the rotate by Gears here coming back closer towards side. Mechir takes out Pele, who finishes it up, taking out Mech. Fluffers finishes off by refragging onto Oof, leaving them in a 3v2 situation. Both every lyric and official accuracy sitting on a roughly 50% health. Smosh on just a slither of health after that gunfight with the Blackbeard. Gears finishing it up with that shotgun onto official accuracy, leaving every lyric in a 1v3 situation. Everyone has now rotated back onto side. Every lyric pushes hard onto side, gets the shots off, downs one of them, but gets finished up by the shotgun from Gears, who rotated all the way from basement back up, opened up rotate through bathroom, and gets the shots off.
Ready going towards match point in favor of the defenders, where of course is Motion. Very interesting exactly how this all played out. Honestly, Kudi, do you think Repress will be able to pull this back, or do you think this match has already been decided?
You know, it seemed like Repress almost didn't know how to react to Motion's style there. Motion and every single defense round have come at them with something new, whether it's been hard holding or no roamers or many roamers and, you know, very few on. It's going to be a super close matchup, but we saw a similar style matchup in that first map. You know, 3-3 halftime, switch sides, one team just then ends up dominating. So we might actually see the matchup going all the way to the third round at Clubhouse, which will be super interesting.
Clubhouse as well, not exactly which team's holding what will be decided, but of course if it does come to that, it will be done. But as you can see, Lams once again going to reinforce, of course, towards Blue's side. But on his banner shots, is going back towards the bottom, where we have Smosh once again playing behind the Wamar shield. Very interesting strategy between the two sides, very similar. Of course, they both know the counter sport, both know what to do. It all comes down to exactly, can Motion keep on the lead, or can honestly Repress at this point bring everything back, having the additional pressure of already being 3 rounds down, let alone winning the game, taking of course Motion side into overtime.
Yeah, I think, I mean, we're seeing again, you know, a bottom hold here, a site that they've been fairly confident in. We see all of their players, like, it doesn't look like any of them are going to be hard roaming. Looks like Mech's throwing up some ADSs in blue. They're trying to stop them from pushing into blue so easily. Looks like they've already got the door open. They're going to push completely through. Play being super aggressive in his game style here, trying to take blue immediately. I don't think the Valkyrie realizes that there's already someone there, but the shots coming out from Pele warns the Valkyrie of those shots, goes on to camp to check where are they in blue. Every lyric pushing on top of white staircase, pushing halfway down. Looks like the Ash and everyone has practically got their situations. The Barn is coming out, and the denial by Limesy taking out one of them. Super important. They're not going to be able to open those up enough to be able to jump through now. Now they're going to have to push around through the doorways. They just have to make sure they don't keep those holes.
Limesy, of course, getting the whole bandit trick in play, of course, just catching the bottom one, almost died himself. Mechhead taking down Pele, even a 5v4 situation, of course, accuracy taking on Lamzi in a 4v4 situation, pushing on the stairs, thinking of Mechhead who's been holding this pillar, with of course overtaking this position of who was previously held by Gears, in a 4v3 situation in favor of Motion Esports. If Motion can keep just the 9 axis towards side in the next minute and a half, they can of course win it going into map 3. Currently we get Smosh once again holding behind the Wumar shield. Fluff is not too far behind, taking down accuracy. It's still Wang and Oof, who will of course be very good players. Wang is obviously a player who holds back quite a bit, and then from is still very good player, can still back up his own statements. Oof taking out Mechhead in a 2v3 situation, playing off one another, holding different angles, providing access to the room. Oof not too far behind, helping his teammate getting droned, providing cover at this stage. Of course, Wamar and Gears, and then Fluffle's not too far behind. Smosh being playing behind the Wamar, still holding it. Doesn't have a rotate hole to play off of. Gears currently smoked off, currently on his own Kaberi camps. Smosh does spot him out through the smoke. Pre-fires through the smoke, does take down Oof. You're dead. Unfortunate turn of events, still in the 2v1 situation. Smosh just finishing him roll and taking down Wang.
Absolutely great matchup by these two players. Smosh finishing it up I think it was super important once they had denied those charges being able to push straight onto sites. They really just had to kind of watch the doorway in that situation. So we're gonna finish it up in this third map between these two teams.
Very interesting. I was actually caught off there. Maybe over, like, just contemplating exactly what happened that round. Really well played from both sides. I mean, we've actually, as casters, never been into our third map before. Of course, mistakes were made. Of course, being the option bar motion. Very interesting turn of events. I mean, of course, being their map, they were able to pull it back, use their strats, everything that they practice. Very interesting. I can't wait to see exactly what Clubhouse has in store for us. Personally, Kudi, we haven't seen Clubhouse either. We think we've been casting this for quite a bit, having hours of casting behind us. And now, we're thinking Clubhouse, interesting choice. I mean, we thought Theme Park was quite an interesting turn of events, especially for the game ahead of us. So whoever wins this next game, of course, goes straight to the finals, will face off the next opposing team. And then from there, whoever does win it, of course, will win the cash prize for the console side.
Yeah, super, super exciting for both teams. I'm sure they're both feeling the pressure. Repress kind of taking that first map. I think they had their confidence up, and then they took the first round of the second map. And I think they thought, you know what, we're up. Like, we got this. Then we started seeing them playing extremely aggressive. We started seeing small, issues coming out. So they weren't droning as much when they were on the attacking side. I actually don't think they won any of their attacking rounds. They were trying to play extremely aggressive onto the motion defense and, just getting absolutely slaughtered for that. So it'll be interesting to see how they change up their gameplay. I'm sure we're going to see very similar style to what we saw in map one, with a lot of communication, a lot of drone work, something we didn't really see them utilize a lot in the second map. In the second map, most of the time they were trying to push very early, take control of things very early without completely clearing it out using any utility or getting rid of those roamers that we saw. So we saw one of the important factors in, I believe it was the 7th or 8th round, with the Kavira roaming downstairs. The Jackal didn't go hunt after the Kavira. He tried to hold out the Frost that was rotating up top staircase, didn't realize that Frost had already rotated down. Just small mistakes there by Repress that they really just got punished for.
We currently have players from both sides that have either DC'd or lost connection, or obviously will be coming back. Like I say, Clubhouse, of course, been a very interesting map. I think, I'm not too sure exactly what we can expect. I mean, of course, we have our different spots that we can expect. I mean, of course, coming down to right to the top floor, will be once again a top floor controlled, then straight down to the bottom. Will we ever see the mid floor being played? Quite an interesting turn of events. I mean, of course, both teams have been played really well. I mean, these rounds have been back to back. I mean, eventually, just towards the end, one team will get a little bit of leeway, and then from there, snowball, honestly, straight through the entire thing, get a little bit of advantage, slowly build up. We do have substitutes coming in from, of course, the Repress side, which is Floki. Not too sure exactly who he is replacing at this stage. Quite interesting, bringing in a fresh substitute who has been, of course, sitting there watching the game, maybe analyzing everything, as Costa we've been saying, maybe seeing a few slight details that he can bring up. Quite interesting. We'll have to see what he brings to the table. Now, of course, from motion start, exactly a player, of course, just been pulled out. Exactly if he's rejoining, we're not too sure just yet. But if another substitute will play, exactly how will these substitutes contribute to the game? It's up to them and how they play with the team. Kudi, do you think these new freshly substitutes will be able to turn the tide of this upcoming game? Or do you think it's just another matter of whoever gets the initial advantage, make sure that the initial games are closed, and towards the end, whoever does take it wins?
I think that's a very interesting point there. I want to say, having these substitutes coming in, so we see Hales coming in for motion. We spoke constantly about the Gears Hales combo that they had going on here. I think that bringing in these replacements might bring in fresh ideas for these strats. We've seen a lot of these strats, as soon as these teams, because they're so close, they're starting to realize there are similar game styles. So that's why we're seeing such close matchups between both these players. It's always coming down to the last, 1, 2 players. So perhaps bringing in these fresh players, they're going to get fresh ideas for strats. But also, your team has just played 2 full maps, and both maps being very close. Now coming into your third map, you're going to be a little bit tired. You've got the pressure, as this is the semi-final. You've got an incredible crowd supporting you. You've got the casters commentating over your game style. I'm sure it's very, very exhausting. So hopefully having these new players, we might actually see a lot more aggressive game style coming from these 2 fresh players, and more conservative style coming from the players that have already played 2 maps. What are you thinking for this banning phase? What are you expecting to see? Do you think we're going to see very specific bans trying to take out players or ops, their main ops that they've been playing
Hello?
recently? Or do you think we're going to see like strategy type bans?
Honestly, I think being clubhouse as well, I think a mirror might actually prove pretty useful, especially on right on the top towards the bedroom side. I mean, even CCTV, holding down those red stairs, of course, going towards the bedroom hallway. Pretty interesting in exactly how play out, exactly the operators that will be chose. I mean, we've seen Wang. Honestly, I'm being a massive fan of Cade. Maybe Cade or Band as well, which was played quite a bit by Lyric as well. Maybe from that side, one of those players, of course, just to prevent that. But honestly, a Thatcher, not one of the most useful. Of course, he is towards blue. Once he's in the boat itself, maybe even towards that container. Maybe honestly, I'm pretty sure we'll see a mirror. But I mean, Jaeger is one of those that both teams heavily rely on, especially for the utilities such as flashbangs and grenades. But honestly, Kuru, I don't know if you have any suggestions exactly where you think we ban, especially on a map like Clubhouse.
Yeah, Clubhouse is, I mean, it's a very strat heavy map. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Kaid ban coming out. I also would not be surprised with another Thatcher ban. It seems, the first map we had a Thatcher ban, second map we allowed Thatcher, but then he was played almost every single round. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Thatcher ban. If we do see a Thatcher ban, then I would definitely expect to see a Kaid ban, especially for that basement area. And the reason I'm also expecting a Thatcher ban is protecting both basement and cache, as well as jacuzzi wall. Actually, Thatcher can be utilized in all those spots. So I definitely think the defending team will, ban Thatcher. Thinking about the other types of ops that we have been seen played a lot, ops that are fairly powerful. We did see a lot of pulse play on our first matchup in theme park, so perhaps we could see a ban onto pulse. I think it's really kind of just a touch and go. It really depends on how these teams want to play this map.
I think as well, I mean, the important factor we kind of overlooked is the roaming once again. And I think Jackals actually played quite a bit towards the end of the previous map. And of course, seeing how many players did rely on those players. And from there, the Jack will be able to go straight into it, find the players, especially how large Clubhouse actually is from the garage side of things, all the way to Strip Club, even from there, the 3 different floors that they can work off of. I think all players are ready. I think before we sit here and continue speaking about exactly what can happen, I think let's rather see what they are ready to do. Let's hop straight into it and see exactly what the banning phase has for us. Were our predictions correct? Were we somewhat wrong? And will we be surprised?
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping we'll be surprised.
Going straight into the start of the operator ban phase. Of course, the attacking side of things will take place. We're not too sure exactly who will be defending, we will attacking just yet. So obviously, Repress at this stage will be on the attacking, and Emotion will be on the defending. Quite interesting, and again, once again, being part of the attacking side of the ban phase, quite an interesting choice. I mean, especially to see what a crucial role they played, especially on map 1, being a constant fear carried over on map 2 being banned. Going into the second attacking, of course, ban. Can't actually think. I mean, really, the Yang straight away throwing both our predictions straight out of the door. Exactly what to expect from this point on, I'm not entirely sure. And like we did predict, a Thatcher, who was banned initially, one was not banned the second time around. It was heavily played. Might as well eliminate that whole option. I mean, he has been an overall operator, very, I don't want to say the whole glue that keeps the team together, but really, really well played.
So I wouldn't be surprised now if we get a Kaid ban. But now that I'm looking at it, it's funny enough that Repress were the ones that were ended up banning Thatcher, and then with the Clash ban, we haven't. I don't think we've actually seen Clash being played by either team, but I think she has actually been banned every map right now. So that's not too surprising. Another Maestro ban. We saw Maestro being utilized a ton on Theme Park, and especially in certain spots in Clubhouse, he can be extremely powerful.
As you just said, I mean, being a very effective player. But I mean, already going straight into it, we have the Church and Arsenal room being chosen straight off the bat. Pretty interesting choice. I'm especially seeing how we have a Mozzie coming out, having a cage to protect our hatches and of course contain them. Having Pulse as well, using his utility once again. Maybe we can see something similar towards finding players, maybe not really going for the solo plays. Well, Ma being played by Smosh once again, we was very effective at holding certain choke points in the previous map, especially at the bottom level again, behind his deployable shield.
We see the 6th pick coming out onto the Jackal. I was just about to say Nomad, which would, make sense for the aggressive style that we've seen Motion playing with, especially with their heavy roaming strats. But instead, we see the Jackal coming out, which again, I mean, both operators trying to stop this massive roaming strategies that are being utilized by Motion. We've seen most of the time they play one or two ops on sites and the rest are all roaming around. Sure, we're going to see Kaid either. I'm not sure what if he's going to go for to try and stop them entering the wall that Fluff is currently reinforcing, or if he's going to go straight for hatches.
Honestly, Shade being one of the most important factors, like we've seen the top floor control taking place, especially being right at the bottom, of course the middle floor towards bars, so that'll be a crucial turning point within this whole event. I mean, Hale's busy just getting his aim ready, aim locked down, getting trained. Of course, Katana already being the first thing you go to reinforce. I mean, the whole idea behind this whole team, 10 reinforcements being shared across your whole team allows your players who need to go across a different map, maybe even across the map, to place on their utilities, prevent players from going within. And already players are busy droning out, Jackal going straight away to find a player who might be just above Bombi Hatch. We might try to go for a spawn peek later on, pre-fighting that window, allowing his teammates to need to go towards container safely.
We do see Fluff playing with the pulse down below, watching for that kitchen hatch push. So anyone going into the kitchen hatch needs to be wary that the pulse is sitting down below with the C4 in his pocket. Looks like the Jackal's already pushed all the way through into bar, trying to drone out. Doesn't realize that all these defenders are on site. They're not going for any heavy roam strats now. They're going to force the attacking team to come to them. They're all just spread out across sites, all watching important key positions before they realize, I'm sure once they realize which direction the attacking team or Repress are pushing, they will then rotate to specifically get that. But the Jackal making 100% sure there is no roamers upstairs. He's roaming all the way up top, clearing out cache, clearing out any other spots that might have a roamer in it.
Yeah, you can see the pulse as well, playing with his utilities, the vast sort of try to players from down below with shotgun in hand, try to of course prevent that from happening, try to take down a player who's playing over aggressive above. We have Hales holding a very nasty bullet hole peek towards blue. And Fluff also as well, playing with onside once again, just protecting the hatch and trying to prevent Arcade from being broken. And see, like you did say before, no roamers in hand, but the bottom basement actually has so many rooms to work with. Towards, of course, the Arsenal side, the church, and of course, blue, maybe even oil. Gets with a very beautiful National coming in, preventing access towards stairs. The player did come in, and do see the barrel, which was the Jackal. Player got caught off guard by Gez. Gez found himself a second one against Floki, who is the new, freshly replaced sub. Smash not too far behind, taking down Lyric. Wang taking down Hale. Shots are going back and forth, and of course, Oof taking down Make Head, currently in a 3v2 situation.
Fluff left with only 7 more shots in that shotgun. Going to have to take those shots super carefully as Oof and Wang are left standing. I believe Oof was busy pushing here into Church, gets the shots off as Oof takes down Gears. Wang finishes it up, takes down Fluff, leaving it in a 1v2. Smosh is left, trying to fight himself. Gets the shots off onto Wang. Last up is Oof, who is right behind Church. Both players missing their shots, left with just their handguns. Oof finishing it up, taking out Smosh.
Very interesting play. I mean, just the whole point, I don't know if you did notice, could you, about the drone busy marking out a player from the guard kind of behind side, getting that key information, turning that 1v2 into a 1v1. And then from there, like you said, the last couple of shots were being missed, had to pull out from the different pistols. Unfortunately, enough did come, of course, enough came out from the opposing team. Still won the game. Because the shots been traded between back and forth, really close. Of course, we're going to buff up the master volume once again. Being Clubhouse, which is, of course, the sound in this game is very, very important because different maps. And I think it will play a very crucial role just to help not only us, but as the viewers to understand where all these players peaking while they're doing what they are doing. We do have a 6 pick between Fluffus, who was previously playing with Ma, now towards a Rook. Given it additional armor, I think it will be very useful, especially to see the previous round was not exactly a headshot orientated, more body shots.
Yeah, I think, I mean, again, we're seeing close games or close matches between these two teams. Really just, you know, unfortunately, or I guess not unfortunately, but we saw Fluff playing super aggressive as well as Gears, getting those beautiful shots off. Fluff, you know, as a support player, utilizing that information for his team. You spoke about earlier how important that last drone was to bring it back down to a 1v1 situation. The team understanding that, you know, they, even though that basement hold was super close, they're going to go all the way upstairs into Cache and try and defend this area. Looks like there are a couple reinforcements going down in Garage. That's, you know, I really, whenever I play this bomb sites, I like reinforcing down Garage. It allows you to hold Garage a lot easier and get that peek off through Garage window onto the balcony, which normally gets opened up.
Of course, being CCTV and Cache Room, two very vital rooms. I mean, if you have full garage control, having a door secured, and of course the door just underneath it going straight towards lounge. From there, at least, the only major threat that you have as your players to hold inside is either eastern stairs, and of course from there, construction side that leads towards bedroom. From there, of course, players can easily access it, but I mean, right now we do have drones, we have a Cade going down through the Cade trick. Of course, we'll eventually be taken down again because we do have a Maverick right behind it.
Yeah, interesting to see. I mean, the Mavericks going to have to make this a soft wall unless they go hunting for the Kaid. I guess he's going to try use a grenade here to try get rid of that Kaid now that the Kaid got picked off. I think the Kaid tried to go through Garage, right? To get a pick off, maybe perhaps onto the Thermites there, but missing those shots and getting down and taken out himself. It's now been opened up on straight onto site. Wang going to now drone it out for his team.
I mean, Floki taking Diffuser all the way around. I think clearly his teammates play as a distraction. Garage is being entered towards. And right now we already have Swatch in lounge from playing back and forth between his teammates. I mean, Garage, of course, Rafters is being, of course, held right now. Swatch with playing as Castle has a player right in anything but Garage door on the far left. RQ jumped through the breach, tried to shoot the player Rafters. Unfortunately, was taken down. Smash takes down Oof. Fluffus takes down the Lyric. Right now in a 4v3 situation in favor of the defenders.
You know, a little bit unfortunate there for Lyric. I believe he got droned in by Wang, but as he was finished droning in, they had already called out the Legion getting stuck there in Lyric's foot. Which then alerted the person playing on Rafters. Fluff's getting those final shots off. Now he's sitting in a 2v3 situation. Pre-fire coming out by Wang here, missing the shots and getting downed himself. We see that Fluff's just got downed there on Rafters, leaving Floki in a 2v1 situation. I do believe he has Diffuser, so he can go for the plant, but gets a Legion stuck in his foot. Doesn't know whether to push for the Legion or push on the person coming from behind. Instead, he just gets finished up by Mech.
And really well played by the defending side, making use of all these different rooms that are all available to them. Of course, Legion using that whole Legion trap right by that little rotate that they did make towards Rafter side. I mean, it does more than provide a sound cue. It does slow down the opposing player, who does step in, of course, does damage over time. Put him even in a spot where they're vulnerable, where they can be shot. And of course, I mean, let you have the recent update, you can't really run with it anymore. If it's in your foot, you're honestly going to be walking across. And of course, knowing there is a play towards red side, you'll be stuck in between two, of course, very skilled players, and it's not a situation you want to be in. Of course, Pelé right now having an RQ6 pick towards, at this stage, we're not entirely sure. I think just try to bait it out towards a Blackbeard, which is very interesting, especially if they go top stairs towards master bedroom side. We have so many windows to work off of. Even if it is CCTV, we have that main window. From there, we can even go towards the master bedroom or even gym side. We're going straight back down towards Arsenal and of course Church. Very interesting choice. Of course, not really in favor of the defenders first time around, but I think gaining some confidence from the previous round will definitely help them out this time around.
Yeah, we haven't actually seen any dynamic duo power coming out from Hales and Gears, so hopefully it looks like they're kind of going to play close together in this round, so maybe we'll see some of that team work between those two players coming out. We saw in previous matchups they just work very well together, a lot of synergy between the two of them. The Twitch drone finally getting taken out, so that's one Twitch drone down, so they don't have to now worry about, or at least worry too much about, their utility being taken out in this pre-round setup phase. It looks like the attacking side is going to just try take control of the first floor. It looks like at least it seems as though the Jackal's going to go on the roaming hunt, starting all the way from upstairs. But once again, it looks like the entire defending team is down below and holding sight.
Well, I think definitely on the clubhouse, how quickly the attacking side did make their way towards bar, and then from there making their way down the stairs. Definitely proved in favor, but right now I think that they could maybe do a 3-2 push. Two guys maybe pushing towards blue, three guys on this main stairs. I mean, previously we did see them streamline four of the players towards these stairs, and it did not work in their favor. Unfortunately, yes, Diffuser did go down, but I mean, at the end, it did not win. We did have one play towards blue side, which was fairly taken on pretty easily, if I'm not mistaken, by Gears. But right now, we are holding together. I mean, Gears, of course, having Cade once again reinforcing those hatches. Hales, like I said, and between Gears and Hales, from the first time we've ever seen them play together, they were the dynamic duo that made plays happen. They got the entry frags that could even finish off the rounds. Of course, we all know the Repress as well at the stage is the upcoming, if anything, the underdogs in this game, bringing into the third map, considering everything they're playing really well, taking down Smosh. And a beautiful Nashiso unfortunately could not go through the hole so smoothly as it did the first time around.
Smosh being taken down, leaving it one up for Repress, who pushed extremely quickly to take control of practically the entire map, and besides the site. They've got them pinched on almost every single angle here. Shots being missed by every Lyric, who is being supported by his teammate who is playing in tunnel. It'll be interesting to see. The Blackbeard takes a peek here, but just misses the head as both players peek together. Oof gets those final shots off there onto Hales, then finishes up Mech. Looks like we're now left in a 1v4 as Wang takes down Fluffers. Floki is going down with the diffuser as Gears pulls off a good shot onto Oof. Left in a 1v3 situation. Gears is on the opposite side of it all. The shield protecting Blackbeard's face there. You see that one bullet hole towards the head as Pelé finishes it up for Repress.
Because being Blackbeard, having these deployable shields have been very nerfed over the past few years. Of course, I mean, he has been nothing but nerfed since his release, but still, of course, being able to absorb a handful of bullets at a time, and of course, in that favor, definitely working in his favor, would have been an instant headshot, possibly taking him down, would have led it to be a 1v2, possibly a lot more chance of actually clutching his run, winning it for his team, but right now, Repress taking the lead by one round. Of course, at this stage, first 1 to 7 does win, and unless it's a lot more tight of a game, then of course, we'll go towards overtime. The 6 between Blackbeard, of course, scaring, of course, the defending side. We would have been going back to the Maverick, which is very interesting. Of course, they do have a Thermite. Try to open up those opportunities for the Thermite if needed.
Absolutely great gameplay coming out here by both teams. A super close matchup once again. So we're going to see a change of sites to a site we have not seen them defend yet. We'll have to see. We see a thermite coming out here by Repress. It'll be interesting to see if they utilize that thermite on Jacuzzi Wall or if they try use that on the opposite side of the site, on the east side of the site.
At least having a casual at hand that will be able to prevent straight access into the master bedroom, maybe even gym, depends where it's been replaced. Bandit busy reinforcing Jacuzzi Wall, which like you did previously did state, a very important factor into holding that site. I mean, if it is open, straight access towards either gym or down the hallway. And then from there, if there is a teammate on stairs, it's pretty much guaranteed that you can go straight inside from that point. I mean, of course, having both the windows to play off of. But of course, the whole rusted CCTV window provided access to the wall to defenders look straight down that whole long balcony or the roof just outside. Makes it a major threat towards the attacking side.
These stuns coming out from Wang as he tries to get rid of those ADSs so they can try and open up the wall onto Jacuzzi. But there is a bandit, busy bandit tricking. We see the grenade about to come out from the Maverick here, who ends up not using it as the Twitch is able to use the Twitch drone to get both of those bandit charges. Plus, we see a Maverick now mavericking the lower end, pushing the bandit back. They're able to get Jacuzzi Wall open fairly easily, which is a great start for Motion. I mean, Repress, sorry.
Playing really slow towards the final minutes. Yeah, I mean, of course, they still have plenty of time to work off. Rather do it carefully, which they are doing. Of course, droning everything out. Really well played by the Twitch, being comfortable and being confident. I mean, Maverick trusting their teammate to do that play. Well, of course, at the moment, Maverick is currently down. Exactly what happened, I'm currently unsure. But right now, Oof does indeed take down Smart, who is been playing Castle, which of course is a very important factor. Maybe not the most important operator already towards the later games. It all comes down to his castle placements. And right now we're in a 3v5. Oof once again takes on Hales, who we have seen before being a really good player. Straight through, Gez is taken down by Oof once again. Oof is currently on a triple kill. If he gets himself 2 more kills, he'll be going for the ace. But taking down Mech Head. Right now Lyric as well getting a trade, currently in a 1v4 situation. Lyric as well cleaning up. Getting himself a 2k as well. Winning the round once again.
And Lyric slowly showing us that they are now the duo in this matchup between these two teams. They're really, Repress have slowed down their gameplay. We saw on the first map, they had a slow, methodical gameplay, and they ended up taking the map away from Motion. In the second matchup, we saw them play a lot more aggressive, trying to just drone themselves in and push those fights and, look for those gunfights. We saw them we actually saw them not win a single one of their attacking rounds. Now, it's all been switched up. They were once again playing slow, playing methodical. They had only entered the building when there was a minute, like 30 seconds left on the clock. But they had utilized all of that utility to keep their players safe so that by the time they were pushing sites, it was a 3v5.
Like I said, really well played. I mean, the whole Jacuzzi Wall between that play and, of course, having 2 players drop towards logistics office. Of course, going through that hatch, going straight there through that secret stash. I mean, of course, clearing it out, going from there straight to the bedroom hallway, looking straight down through bedroom, allowing them to do the same thing what they did is work together as a team. Once again, we're going to the CCTV and cash room, which of course was in favor of the independent side. But once again, the game as well was very close. Came down to the final 1v2 amongst the Repress players versus Motion. And right now, can we see exactly the same thing? We do see the same rotate hole. Once again, Garage is being reinforced. And the castle as well, once being played. I mean, like I said, if Castle can hold down at least the bottom room, going towards the lounge with his castle, if anything, wasting one of the Ashes breach charge or maybe even giving away Sledge's position will prove effective. Once again, we do have Rook, of course, having a very good gun in MP5. Maybe not so majorly important anymore with the scopes, but once again, having a Rook armor, just having the ability to absorb slightly more bullets, and even instead of down straight away, at least being down, allowing your team an opportunity to rather revive you while you're in a good spot than being down completely. We see Mavic once again opening up the bottom hatch. We've seen Floki play in the spot before. We did catch a player off guard. Currently sees the feet of a player, sprays through the defending player with his hails down to the quarter of his HP. Not too sure exactly where the shots have been taken from. Going back to red stairs where you can hide behind the little railing. From there, hold the little rooms down towards Lounge side.
Yeah, that was a great team play there by both Floki and Wang. Wang opening it up slowly but surely, and Floki able to look down into hallway, pushing that Jaeger back onto staircase. Pele is moving down below, about to open up onto garage and be able to push through garage and possibly even push onto rafters and get rid of Fluffus, who is playing on top below. Looks like the Zofia pushes in extremely aggressively. Hales takes down every lyric, and Floki finishes it off by refragging onto Hales, finishing up what he originally started. Pele, who was downstairs pushing onto garage, falls onto rafters from the castle, but now the castle getting taken out by Oof, who is on fire during this matchup between these two teams. First canister of smoke coming out.
Right down the 3v3 situation, still having a lot of defenders on side. We do have K being played by Meke behind a very defensive shield, holding off the initial breach. Mech head, as just previously talking about, takes down Wang, ready, well played. Floki still by the breach charge with the diffuser in hand. We both know that Oof is right downstairs. We previously got the pick and got the smash, who's busy playing as Castle. Coming upstairs, Floki busy pre-firing. We still know one player's Raptors was heavily tagged by the initial push by the Ash, which was replayed by Lyric. Unfortunately cannot connect. Flashbangs coming into play. Unfortunately gets Flashbang himself. The smoke coming in, doing heavy damage, bringing down Floki down to 50 HP.
And being in this 2, or I guess now a 1v2 situation, as Flofus takes on Oof and Floki finishes it up by refragging. The flashes come out, flashing the player, holding it tight there, but the stun does not work against Mech, who finishes it up for the defending side. Absolutely beautiful shots there by Mehed.
Really well played. I mean, defenders are really enjoying that CCTV room. Of course, winning every time they go there. But of course, now Repress are learning this. But of course, you can't play the same start after you win it back to back. Going back to the previous starts that they have won, straight to basement or right once again towards the bedroom side. Of course, the defending side will be able to adapt to the situation. Know where they went wrong last time. Hopefully, will relearn what they did. Try to adapt to the situation at hand. I mean, once again, we have it once again. Oh, from an Ella to have a 6-pick from Gears towards a very interesting choice to a Caveira once again. The second time we saw a Caveira being played, we have an Ash being 6-pick once again to an Ash, picking out by Wang. We haven't seen Wang play such an aggressive character before, knowing that he is one of the last ones alive. We usually just sit back and finish what the task that his teammates have left for him.
Yeah, we're seeing some great plays coming out here from both teams. We saw Caveira come out during the second map, which actually worked very well in their favor. So it'll be interesting to see if he's able to utilize that Caveira as well as he did on that second map. They haven't been able to win a downstairs hold as of yet. They're looking to take it to a 3v3 as they go into half time now. So far, every single map that we've seen between these two teams by halftime, it is a draw. So I think if statistically, if I had to guess who's going to win this round, it's probably going to be Motion, because why would it not be a draw going into halftime?
I mean, going to the third map, looking back at the two maps, the exact same thing happened, maybe in a slightly different order. But I mean, even the first 2 rounds straight afterwards go straight to a 4v4 situation. But then from there, little shifts that start forming, little changes to be made. And then from there, the tides are made. Of course, everything from that was indeed random. Who starts on attacking, who starts on defending. Relatively interesting, we do see a drone busy marking our player outside. Of course, the player is currently looking for the drone or currently found it. And we're just busy holding and playing off side. We do have Gears playing in a very interesting spot, playing, if anything, super aggressive, waiting for his teammates to play off of, get that key information. We do know the couple of players within garage. Loki coming down towards blue stairs, going to go down towards blue. Maybe even hold off oil pit side.
fairly interesting hold and push here. It looks like, Oof already in opening up the floors. I don't think, I mean, we don't have any pulse that they have to be worried about. There's not many, I guess, C4s that are going to be utilized. Pele starting the round off with a great shot onto Fluffus. So, already the motion already down, or I guess not down anymore, as Hales finishes up by taking out Oof, which is a very important pick because we've seen how aggressive Oof has been during this matchup, and his shots have been exactly on point.
Right now pushing from blue. I was breaking the deployable shield. Unfortunately, the Jaeger ADS system still there. Shot of Sophia straight towards the opposing player. Currently blind as well. Flashbang's being put in towards Sat. Smash with a very tight angle underneath shelf. Been heavily taken himself. Been taken down by Lyric. Who spots a low angle that's been played. And of course, very difficult to shoot through that spot. But I mean, if done correctly, will allow the team to get a low player advantage. They know there is one player trapped between them. Can't really do much. Gears does get the interrogation, allowing the attacking side to pull back, allowing the defenders to see exactly where the players are. At this point, it's kind of late in the game to rotate around. If they do so, it must be quick. Only 50 seconds remaining.
Diffuser down on the second floor here as we see the Jaeger getting taken out by Pele, who's playing all the way in tunnels. I'm assuming we're just going to see Gears play Diffuser here. Yeah, I mean, he's sitting just off of Diffuser, which is downed in bar. Looks like every Lyric ran and went and picked it up. Is going to rotate back down into blue to get towards Wang, who has site control. Mekhed takes out Pele, who tries to push through tunnel. Diffuser's going down by Lyric, being covered by Wang, who stands onto block, finally gets taken down and downed with the Cav coming in from behind. Wang had absolutely no idea which way to peek. Great shots by Mekhed, stopping the diffuse going down, getting that important pick onto the Ash. And we go into halftime as a 3-3 on the scoreboard.
As you did say, I mean, some call it coincidence, some call it just meant to be, but really, really well played. I mean, seeing how this game goes, I'm quite excited for later games tonight, which is at 7:30 at start, which of course will be 80k versus Memento Mori. Can we see something similar towards how this game is going? But the Caveira from last round really coming in clutch. They're taking on the player with the, if I'm not mistaken, was Smosh, getting interrogation as well from there, holding down the Diffuser, rotating all the way around, giving false insecurity towards the attacking side, thinking that he just came from there, it should be safe, and then from there, helping of the last defender, who was the anchor on start winning around. We do have Hales for 6 feet from Blitz all the way towards Maverick, and then from, of course, Vigil towards Legion.
So it's, I guess it's now Repress's turn to show us how it's done and how to defend this site. We saw a great defense round coming out by Motion in that last gameplay. Again, the Caveira coming in clutch. I think that her getting that interrogation off with roughly 50 seconds left in the round was an extremely important I guess, just role in them winning that round. It forced all of the attackers to fall back and hold their positions, not allow them to push up anymore. That wasted a good 30 seconds of their time. By the time they had gone back, got a diffuser, rotated back down blue, they were starting to run out of time. And at that point, it just needed to be finished up by Mekhed.
We always see something similar towards the basement once a game, but of course there's some around being reversed around. Because we see the pretty much similar strats. Once again, we see the Jaeger being played. These ADS systems were very much came in clutch towards the end. They're absorbing a lot of the Sophia charges and of course the flashbangs. Hale's ready as Maverick going towards the blue stairs, going to get right down there towards the blue side, maybe clear oil pits. And we have teammates ready from Fluffles and of course the, if I'm not mistaken, the Blackbeard, which has been played by Gas, going straight down the hatch from there being ready joined out, making sure the top floor is clear, eliminating the same possibility of having a roamer. We can ready early on, get an interrogation or even get some entry frags.
I think, I think after Repress lost Oof early on in the round, it was at that point that they knew that they were at a slight disadvantage, Oof being their main fragging player during this matchup. We see that all the defending, I guess, players are holding sites. We don't see any roamers Looks like Motion already have full control over bar. They got full control over third floor. Looks like they've got control over blue staircase. So right now it's really just about collapsing down on the defensive strats of Repress here. Be interesting to see what they have planned. Doesn't look like anyone is holding Moto, so they can push down the main staircase fairly easily. We see the bandit rotating across into church. I'm sure we're going to see some bandits charges go onto church wall here as Uv tries to get rid of the drones. Sitting there with his mute as well. Looks like the wall on church is already bandited up. Uv peeking through onto Moto, trying to push them back from main staircase. Legions coming out into rotate. It looks like they're all stacked up on main staircase there. It doesn't look like anyone else has pushed any other side.
No, of course, like we did see before, the main staircase coming into play. I mean, Flatforce does take down Uv. A big blow towards Repress, and right now pushing towards start, beginning pre-fires underneath the table, maybe even towards the softball, trying to catch out the player within blue, which of course is a fellow teammate. We have 3 players with on start and 1 within church. Right now, 5v3 situation, shots are going down, Lyric and not connect. Still pre-fired by his team some time to hold back their start. Play taking down Flatforce. Big blow towards the opposing team. Cade as well, finding his shots, taking down Hales. Marshall's taking down the play right now in a 3v2 situation. Lyric still holding down the Thermite, which is of course just outside. We have a teammate not too far behind. He did pre-fire beautifully, did not notice player was right below. Can he bring it back for his team in a 3v1? Is taken down by Gears. Also, we play by Cade, which is Flicky. Throwing a beautiful Nitro Soul, taking out Smosh. We had the Fusion, which will be picked up on the Blackbeard, who is currently a one-shot, but of course, having a teammate still more or less full HP, takes down Floki, which was Makehead.
You know, that C4 coming out at a very key point. I think, you know, if he had possibly waited, a second or two later, he could have thrown it that he got the end of the plant going down, and then they wouldn't have had enough time to pick up the fuser to try replant. Just running down that time. But, I think overall good play, good thinking, using that C4 to his utilization, holding back to see if they were able to get the plants going down again. They were really just, kind of powered down. I think, Motion had the full map control very early on, so they had a lot of time to just slowly pick apart at Repress's defensive strategy.
Right now we do have a 6-pick from the attacking side from Ash towards Kelly, and then of course from the opposing team. I'm actually not 100% sure. But right now, like I said, it's already been back-to-back. Once again, we have a 4-3. I mean, like, I don't want to be this guy, but I mean, if we do compare the previous rounds, it will be a 4-4. And then straight after this round, it will be a landslide. Exactly, will it happen again? I mean, what has happened all the time throughout tonight. But of course, these are both teams still trying to get it to the finals. As you can see, it will be a close game. One team has won one map, the second team was one. Right now, going into the third, it all comes down to this, the last couple of rounds. If the blue team being played by Motion Esports can win 3 more rounds and make it towards the finals. And of course, Repress is not just out just yet, only down by 1 round, can still make plans and make things happen.
I think at this point in the matchup, the players are extremely tired. They've just played 2 full maps that were both very close. Now they're playing their 3rd matchup, and they're sitting on a 4-3. So, that they're probably very tired at this point. I think both teams have that reserve player that they brought in, so they have a little bit of fresh thinking. But we're going to see a lot of just slug fights right now, just slowly trying to pick at each other. We see quick entry again being done here by Motion, taking a lot of the map control early on. We don't see any, pushback coming from Repress. They're all down below, holding down sites. We don't see any roamers, so I don't think Motion have to worry at all about that. It seems like they already know that there's no roamers, and they're immediately pushing down. They're opening up the hatches, peeking down into sites, putting pressure already down on the defending side.
I mean, Kelly being played above bar right now to be able to open up the hatches for the Thermite. Very interesting. A flashbang basically blinding the teammates. from, if I'm not mistaken, that came from the thermite as well. A lot of an unfortunate situation. Maybe just wasting a few seconds there. At least it wasn't a player out there to punish them from the defending side. We do, of course, have Omar holding a very defensive spot once again behind the deployable shield. We actually play by Oof. And of course, he's been really good throughout the entire game. We do have Hales watching towards Garrod side, waiting for that Roma to come around. Fluff was playing a capital, making sure everything's clear, going down the hatch himself, just providing his teammates some time. Gonna rotate back towards container side, support his teammates, and hopefully take down Floki, who is Cade by himself. Smash currently on down main stairs, going down, breaking down the barbed wire, almost gets taken out there. As you can see, the beautiful deployment shield basically does take down Smosh. He is currently down, and there are teammates quite close for him to do push a little bit aggressive. They will take him down, leaving him one player at a disadvantage.
You know, they're opening up the whole way down hallway here, making sure they can't hide behind that shield that Smosh just got taken down from. You know, everyone's still on the Repress side, still at full health. You know, I think Motion are kind of struggling to pick at this defending strats here. As I say that, Wang takes out Hales, huge pick for their side. Fluff goes down and ends up getting taken out by Oof, who's on fire this matchup. Oof pulls out and gets picked by Gears. Gears pushing all the way through into side. Smosh taking out Pele. You know, Gears has complete side control now with one player playing inside. Floki busy playing inside of tunnels. The defuse now going down. Floki with a 2k, absolutely saving the day. They're getting the diffuser down, finishing it up by taking out Smosh. Floki saves the day for Repress.
Floki single-handedly won that round for his team. Of course, playing container and I guess third tunnel, which was actually very interesting. I guess the defense attacker side, which was Blackbeard, finishing got one of his shields, saved him. Did of course get broken with the initial trade, but from there, pushing to side. Unfortunately, the diffuser did go down. But he honestly, if I'm not mistaken, it was either 1v4 or he did ace clutch the round. Really well played by Floki as well, being a fresh player coming past. He has some amazing kills and honestly working across his teammates. We already warmed up, have this synergy that's been pre-built throughout the entire couple of maps. But now coming in, making a name for himself, so not having as much play time right now, not really having the same amount of warm-up, just being there on standby, listening to the comms, watching the stream himself, ensuring that his name will be put out there, and he did so successfully and really well done to the team.
Yeah, absolutely great gameplay there by Floki. You know, peeked out a tunnel, got the shots off onto diffuser, downs the person that was going for the plant, ends up finishing it off. I think, you know, it really helps, you know, as much as we're giving Floki a lot of the credit here for those shots, it was kind of important throughout the full round. His team were constantly picking at the health of the attacking team. You know, Motion, by the time they were going for that plant, you know, I think 4 of them were less than, you know, 25% health. So Floki at that point really just had to kind of peek out, get those small shots off and finish it up for his team. It's just great teamwork overall by Repress. Their support players coming in clutch, their fragging players coming in clutch. Just finishing out that round well. We're now going all the way upstairs into Cash. We see Pele playing a bandit who's probably going to be bandit tricking the wall there. He's already sitting tight on wall. Floki making sure they can't open up the garage with any of their hard breaches. Looks like they're going for a hard denial here. They really don't want anyone in. They've got the, you know, PES set up on garage, making sure that they can't even drone out garage. They can't even see that Floki is sitting on top of rafters. So they're really just trying to slow down the push from Motion here. We've been super aggressive and taken map control super early on. Now all of a sudden we're 40 seconds into the round and they're still trying to peek the windows.
Going straight towards a garage pusher. Very aggressive. Some beautiful pre-fires coming from towards a player who is currently dangling. Very interesting. I'm not too sure if that's planned or coincidence. Bullets are going straight down there where a player is. As you see, garage being held down. Do you have a player right on the red stairs being Lyric, who's being very consistent and can very much hold his own. Do you have a player towards Lounge side, slowly making his way? We do have Mozzie, who's playing towards, of course, the oil. And of course Blue. Right now, Mech head dead spot to play out. He's going to shoot a fair charge in. Will he be debated by, of course, Floki right on top of the rafters? I mean, this man already been playing already well of his team. So here comes the Bandit once again. Like you did state, removing them any chance of them coming in from eastern sub roof, having a hard denial. Blue team has now finally found the bomb and working towards start.
You know, absolutely incredible hero gameplay by Pelé. He's made sure they weren't able to open that wall, which is extremely, extremely important. They even had an Ash charge from below trying to push him out. Floki and Oof playing a beautiful duo here in Garage. Gears taking out Pelé, finally getting the wall open. He pushes straight on in and Smosh takes out Floki. Oof trying to push around, doesn't see Meched. They're right next to each other. I don't think they realize. Left in a 2v3 situation as Wang takes out Hales. Oof trying to peek onto Rafters as every Lyric finishes it out by taking out Meched. Fluff is left outside alone with every Lyric, Oof, and Wang still up and healthy.
Ready in the last couple of players in a 1v3 situation. Fluffers at least has the SMG as hand. Very good SMG. Two of the players heavily tagged. We still have the banner being played by every Lyric. Still full HP, at least the Cali can instant down the players if need be. See straight down towards Rafters being pre-fired of course by Oof. Does land a shot, taken down just over 50 HP. Every Lyric, the guy with the full HP was unfortunately taken down. This might be a big deciding factor. We do see Oof with the pistol in hand. Try to take down Fluffles and does indeed. Don't forget about the Nacho still coming down below in case he did miss. Really, really well played from both sides. Really close games, and you can see Diffuser is taken down.
Yeah, great defense there by Repress. I think, I mean, you know, the key players that I saw in that defensive round, Pelé, wasting so much time for that wall to get open. The wall got opened with less than a minute left on the round. Then you had Floki on Rafters busy covering Oof, who was in a position in Garage that the attackers could not get to him no matter what they were doing. And then, I mean, once they got rid of Floki, Oof was still able to then rotate back onto Rafters and still take a couple shots off, taking out one of the attackers. So just great teamwork, great communication. I really think that, you know, there's the teamwork and communication in that round is the reason they won.
Going straight to gym and bedroom, having Mara being 6-pick, quite an interesting choice. Like I did say before, it'd be very important. Sitting with Mara within bathroom, holding down the balcony side, preventing the jacuzzi wall entry, and then from there, maybe even having one somewhere either in construction or towards gym side, providing, of course, holding a different angle from gym, having your teammate within bathroom, covering you from balcony, and then from there, working off one another to get those initial kills. Logistics officers, of course, are very important hatch to be holding, and then from there we'll see what happens. Right now we do have a 4-5 game, very close. Eventually, like we did say, first 1 to 7 is will win. Can of course Repression bring it back, making it hard once again. So Repression of course being in the lead, can Motion once again make it hard, or will it just be the I'm gonna say the dominant side once we have seen the past 2 maps? I mean, actually phases finally kicked off, and let's see what the players have in store for us this time around.
So we see the mirror being placed in the bathroom, looking onto Jacuzzi wall there. It doesn't look like they're going to even try fight against Jacuzzi wall. They're just going to allow those players to kind of open that up. Once that open up, well, they'll be staring straight into a mirror, something that's probably very terrifying at that point. But I'm sure, I mean, looking at the lineup, I'm not sure if they were actually able to bring any smokes to kind of cover that mirror. We see the mirror going down. Looks like they're going to use that mirror there, not only just to kind of push the attackers back a little bit, but to allow the mute to try and mute trick, which is something, you know, very hard to do.
The initial hatch with logistics has been opened up. Gears with a beautiful nade does indeed take down Oof. Floki has well been heavily tagged himself. Smosh, don't even forget, being Thermite as well, being tagged for just over 50 HP. The Mirror, just basically watch him get a beautiful pre-fire by the Mirror, taking down the Thermite, who overextended and pushed just a little bit too far, currently in a 4v4 situation. Of course, health in favor towards the blue side, which of course being played by Motion. Really well played. Have some plays entering from, of course, Clubhouse, making the way towards the main stairs. From the logistics office being held by both Hales and Fluffles, making a very awesome push together. Because Fluffles, at least with still one breach shot in hand, can just breach over here. Has a beautiful pre-fire on a player which was Floki, which was already initially low. Currently in a 3v5 situation, Finker charge, Finker boost in place, one player within jump. Lyric being shot from behind from a legit opposite in a low small closet.
Absolutely great pick there by Pelé, which has now forced the attacking side to attack on the opposite side of the sites. Now they're needing to be pinched. Unfortunately, Floki getting picked out there. It seems like Pelé needs to now rotate to protect the other side of sites, because the sites, or at least the part that he was defending, has now been saved. He's now sitting in a 4v3. Fluffers pushes all the way in, takes out both Pelé and the Jaeger. Gears finishes it off by taking out Wang. We're now on a 5-5 situation on the third map. These teams are slugging it out to get into the final. What a great matchup by these two teams.
This is really what you expect from a semifinals, neck-to-neck games. Of course, going straight through it. As you guys can see on the scoreboard, we do see the stats around. Really high kills amongst all players. Of course, the assists will coming through. It is very much a team-based game. As you see, this is what makes these teams are very different and gives them a competitive edge against the teams that they did, of course, beat to get to this point. Really well played. Of course, now these are literally giants facing off one another to eventually become the legends and be one of the first winners of the Siege title, facing off in the Meraki Major. Having, of course, that title behind them will give them not only confidence boost, but of course something to brag about. We do see a 6-pick from the Monty towards Twitch by Gears, and of course by Oof, which was previously playing Walmart towards a Smoke. Both have the probable shield, so not too much of a change there, just the guns and of course the abilities that each operator does get.
We're going all the way down back to basement here. We know that Repress, they've pretty much been able to defend basement every single time. So it is definitely their go-to right now. The last time we were in this situation, I believe it was Pelé who was the clutch for the team. As well as, we've seen some great gameplay coming up by pretty much everyone. We see a Kaid being picked by Floki. I'm sure that's going to be for the hatches once again. I think the pick from the Cali was fairly good in the last couple of rounds, as they were able to open up those hatches fairly easily. We don't see her being brought right now. Instead, we're just seeing a Twitch being brought out in replace of her. We're seeing a Buck being brought out instead of a IQ, as we saw in the last couple of rounds. I'm sure that's to open up the floor leading just outside of kitchen to make sure that no one is hiding behind any shields placed in hallway, pushing back towards site.
Right now, slowly making their way towards the container side. Once again, Blackbeard has been in the same spot numerous times, having drone in and out. Very interesting how it all plays out. Getting initial information of the drone. I'm not too sure exactly if Pelé was caught out there. Slowly but surely, Fluffers is pushing through. Of course, really smart from the Legion to pull back, especially having that Blackbeard shield there, but unfortunately is taken down. The shield does indeed come into effect, but still gets heavily tagged for 50 HP. Now Smash as well playing the Thermite, being heavily tagged himself, playing above, playing the high ground. Here comes a nice, beautiful Nacho Soul. Unfortunately, too close to it as well, had to pull back, providing an opportunity for the opposing team to pull back themselves. Some beautiful flashbangs coming in, allowing the Thermite to open up Blue's walls into sight, which have proved very effective in the past. We do have every Lyric playing with his shotgun from church side, going to pre-fire on towards the door. Smosh playing Thermite, we will take himself, takes on Oof, gets traded by the Jaeger, who is currently being played by Wang. Floki not too far behind, takes on Hales. Fluffles takes down Lyric. Right now we do have a play down once again as Gears now in a 2v2 situation. Now we in a 1v1 situation. Next player of course wins this for the team will go straight into the match point, and of course Meghead under of course motion. Really well played, winning it, staying calm. The trades have been through very action-packed round, taking right through there. Nothing disappoints in beautiful nades, beautiful support by the utilities, and of course going straight into match point. If motion of course wins this round, they win it, go straight to the finals. Of course if Repress of course wins the next round, they'll go straight into overtime.
Oh, absolutely. What a slug of a round. Motion pushing very aggressively straight through blue and through tunnel at the same time. Kind of caught Repress kind of by surprise. We saw the Thermite crawling on the floor there. I don't think anyone from Repress saw that coming. I think they were all still focused a little bit on church side when that push came out. So they all really had to kind of change up there. Unfortunately, the Kaid not getting those shots off in the very final there. But obviously great overall round by Motion. There are a lot of good communication between them now, sitting on match points. It's now the pressure is on. It's all or nothing now for Repress.
I mean, see what they were able to do last round. It came down to the last few players. Maybe just revise a little bit, but maybe this time in a 1v1 situation, if it does come to that, ensure that the shots land. And at this stage, I'm really impressed with how these players are performing. And I don't think now the side can say that none of them played well. None of them had a good time and definitely played their best. I mean, really well played. I mean, of course, in the future upcoming tournaments, there will be obviously a name to look out for. Of course, Repress being the underdog right now. Of course, Gear's been around. Of course, the Motion side has been around, but really well played, holding their own. Ensuring that, remember, just remind the younger players, the newer names out there, who they are and why they should still be a threat.
Looks like they're going to try and stop the Blackbeard from opening up and pushing down. Well, I guess there is no Blackbeard right now, but to stop the players from pushing down, every lyric disconnecting out of the game. I'm sure we're gonna see the players call for a rehost here, but I don't see any of the players talking in chat. On match points as well, that's a very tough start for the game. Plus, they just lose Pele. Now 2 Gears pushing straight through in a 3v5 situation on match points.
Right now, holding tight angles. Unfortunately, like you did say, the one player did disconnect. One player already going down. Playing it out, I think it's really awesome of them to keep going on, even despite being a player down. Yes, the rehost is still available, but of course still making a name, making a point that they can still play without, of course, being at a disadvantage. But I think at this stage, both sides are, of course, tied and played really well. Doesn't matter exactly where they fall now, if they make it to the finals or not. Both sides shouldn't be, by any means, upset with how they played today. I think definitely one of the closest games, especially on the console side of things, that we've saw throughout this entire week.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think both teams have a lot to be proud for. This has been an incredible matchup. As we say that, Ash pushes all the way in, straight onto boxes. Hales takes out Oof, and Wang finishes it up by taking out Smooth. Left in a 4v2 situation. Hales on literally like 10 health here. Wang just holding tight, just below Hatcher. Diffuser is down in sight. So, Floki and Wang, if they're able to pull this out just a little bit, a 2v4 situation would be absolutely massive. Brings it down. Floki takes out Gears and Wang finishes up by taking out Fluff, leaving in a 2v2 situation. Hales on a low amount of health, finishes it up. Wang takes out. Wang is absolutely going off. Mehed gets down. One left remaining. The Ash gets taken out by Floki, and Repress bring it back with a 4v5 situation. Then it was a 3v5, 2v4. Absolutely incredibly beautiful gameplay there by both Wang and Floki.
Cody, can you please, of course, tell the viewers exactly what must be done now for other team to win in the overtime?
Well, looks like we're going to go to a rehost. But so now we're in overtime on map 3. This is extremely stressful for both teams. These players must be absolutely exhausted. Playing full maps, map 1 and map 2, both maps were super close. Coming onto map 3, we've just constantly been going back and forth. No team has actually been able to give way to any other team. And now it's really just up to these teams to keep calm, set this rehost. I'm sure during this rehost they're going to be talking a lot. I'm very impressed with Repress coming in as the underdogs into this matchup and really showing us that they are here to take this tournament extremely seriously, and they want to be in the final. And I think whichever team ends up winning this matchup is going to give us a great show in that final.
And like you said, it came down to the last few plays. Honestly, having to play, being disadvantaged straight in the beginning, really, and honestly, shortly after that, really having lost the players so early on, you wouldn't think a 2v4 will even be possible. Of course, these are high-level players and been in any situation before. Things happen, unfortunately. As you can see, at least all the players are coming back on and right now. Can't wait to see what each team has in store for us. I mean, like I said, being club house, especially on map 3, which all sides have been random until this point. No one had a say exactly who starts of what, defending or attacking. But right now, going straight into it, of course, the attacking stuff, the bans have been set up. And honestly, Kudi, at this stage, do you have any favorites of which team should be winning this, or do you think they're both equal contenders at this point?
Oh, wow, Plet. I really don't want to show any favorites. But I've been very, very impressed with this Repress team coming in as the underdogs. That final round really just was absolutely exciting. Great to see that gameplay. I could not believe, we've been mentioning Wang throughout this matchup between these two teams. We've always said, he's been the last kind of stand as they're coming down. So it's interesting to see, when they were in that 2v, it was a 2v5 situation before Wang took it down to a 2v4. But both Wang and Floki just worked off each other. Floki holding down Church super well. Wang just sitting right below the hatch. And I don't think Motion knew how to get him out of there. He had the diffuser with him. There's not much more that he could do. But his both teams can take it at this point. I'm enjoying this matchup between both teams. I'm enjoying how competitive both teams are taking this. Just great gameplay by these two teams. Really, just it's a great show of how good the South African community is getting at Rainbow Six Siege.
And I think at this point as well, we just thank all the viewers for sticking around through this very, I want to say prolonged, hard game. It was really awesome to see these teams go at it. I'm really, honestly, really putting everything that they have, all their energy, all their time into making sure they can make it to the finals. Honestly, guys, coming past, of course, supporting not only the organizer of the event, of course, Team Meraki, and then through, watching the players, supporting them, helping them show their potential and supporting them as not even a team, as single individual players, helping them get further opportunities one day. Honestly, means the world as well, cost as well for between me and Kudi having this opportunity once again. I would like to thank the organizer of the event. And honestly, as soon as the last player does indeed join, we'll hop straight into it. And there we go. All players are indeed in. And let's see if they took this little bit of time just to rethink everything, maybe learn from the mistakes and whatever happened last round. Let's hope it doesn't repeat again. Of course, which side you're taking it from depends on the team. I mean, honestly, if we can see the same 2v4 clutch from the Repress, they can honestly take it all. And then from, we'll head straight into it. Going straight into round 13.
Super interesting to see that. I mean, as soon as I saw one of the Repress players disconnect as the round was getting set up, I thought, you know what, they're going to call for rehost. They stuck it out and they still won that round. So super impressive. So right now we're going to see Motion take control of defense. Now they're going to go straight upstairs to their their best bomb site right now, which has been CCTV cash room. They're going to bring in the castle, the Kaid. We're going to see a Jaeger being brought out here. I'm sure we're going to see that castle being utilized to try stop the players being able to pick out through those windows. I'm sure the Kai is going to try and stop them from opening up the wall straight onto Cash. We're seeing the Ash being 6-pick onto Maverick here. That's probably so that they can try and open up that wall super efficiently. Once that wall comes out, they have the Capital for the smoke. They have every Lyric that's probably going to be trying to take out any of the roamers. Super good lineups from both teams here. I think this is going to be a great round.
Like you said, I mean, really having the players at this point. I mean, we did see Repress hold this start fairly well. Of course, Motion started holding the start really well, and then, of course, having a Repress attack it, and Repress couldn't actually get their hands onto start. Yes, they had players going in towards it, but could never get bombed down, and then from there win it. So honestly, seeing how this position has been for Motion, last couple of rounds, they should have this in the bag. But I don't think Repress has shown us everything that they have towards the start. They had some very cool angles, very awesome entries towards the start, and they just could never finish it. Maybe they should stick together, maybe fake out a certain point, maybe having one player be a distraction while the others loop around. Honestly, Kudi, at this point, seeing how the previous rounds have been for Repress when attacking the start, what would you recommend for them to do?
Wow, Pledge, you asked me probably the toughest questions, man. It's I mean, there's so much Repress can really do in this situation. I think it really all has to do with how Motion end up setting up their bomb sites. It also depends on whether they want to, do a heavy roam here. So I guess once the drones come out from Repress, once they realize the specific setup, looks like they're going to try open up Garage immediately here. So it looks like they're going to try open up Garage, get that Garage push, make sure they can open up the wall there. Once they have Garage opened up, it looks like Pelay's getting everything sorted, opened up for Garage. We're going to see Oof take out the castle here. They're really just going to try and open up this bomb sites, and I think they're going to try and go for a plant.
At this stage, of course, the Twitch missed a drone, maybe for the best, because that, of course, that so would have destroyed it and honestly eliminated a full factor there. Guess learning from his previous spot, of course, which has been held by Repress previously, can't connect the shots. Very difficult from his own situation. Try to get the shots through, of course, being on the attacking side, pulled back. Maybe try to break into the side, try to break into, of course, defenses behind there, allowing the Thermite to get onto side, open up that whole wall, and then from there, once again, get a couple of picks. Ready shots have been traded from both sides. Make head shooting towards the opponents from through the window. Actually, very interesting use of a construction window, going straight down, even maybe not actually hitting anything, but just reminding them this is window still a threat. Maybe let's waste a few seconds of this attacker's time.
Great utilization by, just Repress, busy using everything they can to open everything up. We see the Capital pushing straight into Castle there, utilizing his firebolts to make sure no one else can push him, try and catch Fluff out here. Looks like two of them are about to push. Smosh is there for backup. I don't think Capital realizes, but the shots come out from Smosh, who misses the shots. Pelé falls back. We see Gears kind of holding. We see just a standout between these two teams here as Fluff finishes it out by taking out Oof.
Right now, Flurky not too far behind, takes down Hales. Right now in a 4v4 situation, Smosh once again takes down Pelé. Right now in a 4v3 situation, rather interesting right now. Anybody's game, we've seen players pull back from a very difficult situation. Evanetic once again just rushing onto side, trying to catch the player on rafters. Off guard, Gears right once again on his stairs. Who was Doc was taking damage before. He used one of his own stems on himself to return his HP in case such a situation would happen. Of course, Thermite will take a try to pre-fire the Dark Arm right behind the low railings. And there you go, defenders. We, of course, were played by Motion, won the round. Really well played, dude. Making use of the different rooms from rafters, protecting one another, using those different tired angles, and from there, winning that round. So if they win one more, straight into match point. There already is match point. Winning a round, they do win it, take everything, and go straight to the next bracket.
I think we said 2 rounds ago that it's do or die now for Repress. With Motion on match points, all they have to do is win one more round. But Repress going all the way down to Church Arsenal, which has been their best defense site so far, even winning that 4v5 situation that they did, bring it into overtime. It's going to be an absolute crazy round here as, Motion try and for the first time take Church Arsenal away from Repress.
Right now we do have Wang. Honestly, 6 picking from Mozzie towards Legion. Very interesting. We have seen Legion come out quite a few times throughout the entire tournament.
So it looks like, we're seeing both a Kaid and a Bandit being brought out here by Repress. It's a very different lineup to what we've normally seen them bring for this bomb site. We're also seeing an Echo being brought out, so a completely different lineup to what we've seen before. I'm assuming that we're going to see that Bandit trying to utilize his bandits on Church Wall, while we'll see the Kaid try to stop the push through the tunnel. We've obviously seen Blackbeard, which has been brought out once again, push down tunnel every single round, which ends up getting a few picks. If they're able to stop him from being able to push through tunnel, they then don't even have to worry about tunnel. They can just focus on blue and Church.
Right now, players are still making their way towards start. Still early stages in the round. As I said, if Motion wins this, they do take it all. Repress still not out of it just yet. I mean, Container being, of course, droned out. Drone goes down. I mean, very important having your drones right now. Currently, Fluffers, we was playing Maverick, has no more. Pillar just putting Ray back. Rather not peek, the, of course, the Maverick. We will throw the grenade in, and then from there, breaking open the bandit charges.
Good peek coming out here by the Maverick, just opening up that top hole and peeking down into a tunnel. But Pelé has fallen completely back. I'm not sure if Pelé is going to keep trying to hold the tunnel, but the rest of his teammates have the site locked down completely. Looks like Motion have already got full control of kitchen as well as the upstairs area. Doesn't look like there is any roamers that they need to be worrying about. They're already pushing down onto blue, pushing down main staircase. We see the Blackbeard realizing that he can't push tunnel, so he's just going to push straight down staircase. Hatches being opened up here by Hales, who gets a little bit damaged by his own weapon there. Again, no one is watching the motor peak, with the Kaid just pre-firing that shot just a little bit to scare the thermites on main staircase here. They're trying to get all the hatches open here so they can start putting some pressure onto the Repress defense.
Right now making our way towards Sards. Only a minute and 15 seconds left as the side of Wing takes down Gears as the 6-play comes into play as Legion really well played. Maverick straight above, breaking open the reinforcement, trying to find players, marking down everything for the teammates, covering up the Maverick, allow him to do what he has to do. Right now, Gear's been taken down as the Blackbeard, not looking too good. Pushing in towards Church side. The Echo coming into play, of course, being Echo very important operator, especially preventing those diffusers going down. Right now we see Floki.
I'm sorry. The Ash is busy trying to get rid of Lyric, who then gets downed by the Ash trying to push through blue doorway there. The Echo being utilized to give both information, and as the Ash piece gets taken up by Pelé, who is playing in a team kill by Floki, killing every Lyric, or at least finishing out every Lyric. Smosh was down, but gets picked up by one of his teammates. We're now in a 3v4 situation with Repress on the advantage here. They take Floki, gets great shots off onto Smash. The refrag comes out, taking down the Kaid, putting in a 2v3 situation with 4 seconds left on the clock. The diffuser has to go down. All the players have to get killed. Wang comes out with incredible shots, taking out Mac and Fluffers.
After that amazing performance, once again, the game is neck and neck. Nothing over just yet. At this stage, I think, if I'm not mistaken, could you please correct me if I'm wrong, there has to be a 2-round lead.
I'm actually not 100% how they have it set up. I do think that the rules is that this is going to be the last round, both being on match point. This is now do or die for both teams. Repress having to go all the way downstairs Motion having to go all the way downstairs and protect Church and Arsenal, a site that they have only won so far once during this matchup between the two teams. So it's going to be really a do or die here for Motion as they try and get to the final. Repress coming as the underdogs, really is showing that they have what it takes to compete against the top teams in South Africa.
As you said, I mean, literally winner takes all now to go straight to the finals. I mean, I think this has definitely been one of the closest, if not the closest game throughout the whole Meraki major. Definitely all the tricks are coming through. We did see some mistakes previous round, but of course, whoever does win this, of course, both sides have played really well. It is really a 50-50 on this line. We might as well flip a coin now to see who takes it. No, it's no actual stats right behind it. We will win it. Honestly, I think it is both sides of the viewership as well must be divided at this point. Who to support, who's going to win it? What a big surprise. I think no one expected such a tight game. Of course, going to the third map, we honestly thought one of the team would win after the half time, of course, being equal as we did see for the past 2 maps. I think definitely the substitutes that were, of course, introduced, allowing both teams to be energized to this point. Both teams probably scream on top of the lungs. Whoever wins this now makes it through, and we are that team. We can make this happen. Let's put our names out there.
Absolutely incredible matchup. Third map, 7-7 overtime match point. Chat, let us know in chat who you want to win this matchup. Come on, cheer your teams on. Thanks so much for tuning in to this incredible matchup. Make sure you hit that follow button and support this channel. Absolute awesome tournament being put on here by this organization.
Right away we get Gez just reinforcing them, trying to get back onto side. Rather play safe than sorry. Slowly but surely, I think the wall holds up once again. We see Smosh holding up container, making sure no one can come through. Yeah, really well played. Prevent any drones that might try to sneak their way past. I mean, once again, Hales playing off that beautiful bullet hole that we have seen before gets taken down by Lyric. Using the same idea, using the same strat earlier on, of course, will be identified. But so many rounds later, it's quite interesting that it'll still be remembered. This is what makes these players honestly different from one another, and definitely making them different compared to your normal casual and ranked players.
So now that they have control over blue, we're going to see a push down into blue here by 3 of the players from Repress, getting that important pick onto the Jaeger, who I believe was holding down blue. They're going to start now opening it up and slowly make their way down. Both Oof and Capital were on main staircase. Looks like the Capital was rotating. We see Fluffus with the C4 in hand. The C4 goes out, but gets caught and blows off, but opens a hole just onto blue so that he can use it to peek.
Only 1 minute remaining. Nothing really has happened between both sides. Just as I said, Lyric finds his second kill of the game, taking down Smosh right now, playing off sides. Lyric is currently stuck with his teammates pushing on. At least the attackers are on side at this point. Diffuser can't go down. Lyric as well finds himself a 3k against Gez. Gets Meraki take down Oof, and Pelé takes down Fluffus. Make head once again, sounds the second kill against Pelé. Right now in a 1v3 situation. It's up to Make head to win this for his team as Cade. Shots are going across, pre-firing every possible angle where the bad guys could be. Super impressive right now. His control of his aim is super well done. Unfortunately, he cannot connect after all these different angles of coming through. A lot of stress underneath him, especially to go straight to the finals. Unfortunately, was taken down, but really well played.
Absolutely massive congrats here to Repress Esports going through to the final. We saw some incredible shots by Wang as a support player, holding down the site constantly, round after round, map after map. Some incredible gameplay by Floki, who just came onto the team as a replacement for this map. It was just an overall incredible map, overall incredible match up between these two teams. Really looking forward to seeing Repress in the final.
Honestly, as the game did state, it was honestly a very hard fought victory. Not a lot of teams actually play against one another, not even in the scrims. Make it to the overtime point, 8 and 7. Really well played. I think both teams obviously earned a spot in the semifinals, but of course, Repress pushing through, being the underdogs, and of course going straight to the finals. Exactly what we'll play against. Guys, catch again later tonight. For the PC side of things, towards 7:30, we will meet up once again, which the match will be against ADK versus Mori. Honestly, super exciting teams, and can't wait to be part of that scene. We haven't casted the PC side of things just yet, but without further ado, guys, once again, thank you guys so much for sticking around, supporting these amazing players through such an amazing game. And from my side, I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you so much for supporting us as class as well. And we'll catch you guys later tonight with the most exciting semifinals, for the first semifinals for the PC side. Kudi, I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that, but please go ahead.
Dude, you wrapped it up absolutely perfectly. We'll see you very soon for an incredible matchup later on today. We'll see you guys soon. Cheers.
Once again, guys, thank you.